the Harbaugh Bowl, one of the most highly touted NFL matchups this year. At the conclusion of Week 12, John Harbaugh's Ravens up against Jim Harbaugh's Chargers. The Ravens coming off a tough loss in AFC North play to their arch-rival Pittsburgh Steelers, falling to 7-4 and second in the AFC wildcard standings, just one spot right behind the Chargers, who are second in the AFC West, but are enjoying a breakout year on all aspects, both offensively and defensively, playing old school football under their new head coach and national champion with the Michigan Wolverines, Jim Harbaugh. Justin Herbert revitalizing himself and this ground game up and rolling with J.K. Dobbins leading the way. And Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, perhaps besting his MVP season from last year, as he is also helped out by Derrick Henry, who's been an Offensive Player of the Year winning running back in years past when he was a member of the Tennessee Titans. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Welcome to SoFi Stadium at Inglewood, California, as we go on to our starting lineups, where we begin with the visiting Baltimore Ravens, where it begins with Lamar Jackson under center, Derrick Henry the running back, wide receivers Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman to the outside, Nelson Aguilar as a slot man, Deontay Johnson also at disposal, trade deadline acquisition from the Carolina Panthers, Mark Andrews at tight end, Isaiah Likely also at their disposal. Offensive line left to right, Ronnie Stanley, Patrick McCarry, Tyler Linderbaum, Daniel Faalele, and Roger Rosengarten. Defensively, for the Ravens, their starting 11 looks like this. Up front, Travis Jones and Nnamdi Madubuike. Broderick Washington is also at their disposal in such a case. Outside edge rushers, Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Owe. Inside linebackers are Trenton Simpson and Malik Harrison. Roquan Smith is out tonight due to injury. Defensively, at the secondary, Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens lining up as outside corners. Kyle Hamilton as a strong safety slash nickel corner. And the deep safeties are Ardarius Washington and Marcus Williams. Justin Tucker is the kicker. Jordan Stout the punter. Nick Moore the long snapper. Return men are Justice Hill and Tylan Wallace. For the Chargers, their lineup looks like this. Under center is Justin Herbert. At running back is J.K. Dobbins. The backup running back is Gus Edwards. Scott Matlock is the fullback for the Chargers. And his counterpart is Patrick Ricard. They are both defensive linemen who can also play fullback. Wide receivers outside, Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer for the Chargers. The slot man is Ladd McConkey. Tight end is Will Dissly. Still no Hayden Hurst for the Chargers. Offensive line from left to right, Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, Bradley Bozeman, Trey Pipkins, and Joe Alt. Up front, on defense for the Chargers starting 11 are Morgan Fox and Puna Ford. Otito Ogbunia also at their disposal, and Tier Tart as well. Outside edge rushers are Khalil Mack and Tuli Tuipulotu. Now Joey Bosa can also be utilized at their disposal, and Bud Dupree. Inside linebackers are Dayan Henley and Troy Dye. Outside corners are Tarheeb Still and Christian Fulton. Nickel corner is Derwin James, who can also play deep safety. In that case, the deep safeties are Aloy Gilman and Elijah Molden. The kicker is Cameron Dicker. The punter is J.K. Scott. Long snapper Josh Harris. Return man is Darius Davis. So as we look towards this game, as we get forward to settle into the Harbaugh Bowl, we've seen this in Super Bowl XLVII when John's Ravens defeated Jim's 49ers 34-28. San Francisco trailed by 22 points in Super Bowl XLVII, 28-6, before the power outage at the Superdome. So as we look into this game, we are looking at the 5 keys of the game for Baltimore, starting with them. So it's been a long time since we last seen these two head coaches dish it out against each other in NFL action. So start off for the Ravens is to limit the dual threat ability of Justin Herbert. During the Chargers' current winning streak, the QB game with the Pro Bowl signal caller has been a big part of success. the way that he's been extending and making the plays with his legs, he ran 21 times for 148 yards, an average of 37 yards a game and 7.04 yards a carry. A season high 65 against the Cincinnati Bengals just last week. Baltimore has to maintain rush play integrity both on the edge and up the middle to limit Herbert's opportunity to escape the pocket and taking off of his legs. With the advantage that they should have in the interior trenches, Herbert's likely going to get flushed out of a collapsing pocket several times in this game. When that happens, making sure he can't get to the edge and turn upfield will be key for getting LA off the field. Second, Thunder and Lightning. Despite playing on light boxes at the highest rate in the league, the Chargers have been among the best run defenses in the league, along the 10th fewest rushing yards and yards per game. But they have yet to face a rushing attack that features a dynamic tandem of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The Ravens lead the league in total rushing yards and yards per rush, and are second in yards per game, at 177.3 in the latter stat, 5.8 in the former. Henry also leads the league in rushing yards, is tied for second yards per attempt, behind only Lamar, who leads all QBs with 584 rushing yards. Dictating the pace of this game and keeping Herbert on the sideline for extended periods of time has to be with unleashing the most dangerous weapons in the ground game to accomplish that. Jackson also has to not be as reluctant to take and use his legs on scrambles as he was last week against the Steelers when rushing lanes presented themselves instead of waiting for someone to get open downfield, because that played a part of their demise a week ago. Third is to keep J.K. Dobbins from getting loose. He was one of many former Ravens players on the Chargers roster, one of two on the offensive backfield alone, alongside Gus Edwards. The injury bug has plagued him and ultimately cut his career in Baltimore short. Yet he's thriving in the West Coast. He's leading the Chargers with 726 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns, both of which are more than the rest of the team combined, on pace to surpass 1,000 rushing yards and double-digit touchdowns for the first time in his career. The Ravens' second round has been averaging just over 15 touches per game and has eclipsed 100+ yards on the ground since the Chargers started the year 2-0. It would love nothing more to record his first in 8 games against his former team, but it will be tough sledding for Dobbins as the Ravens have the league's second best rush defense, so allowing an average of 77.5 yards on the ground per game and a league low 3.4 yards per attempt. Fourth is to not get carved up between the hashes for the air. Going up against the Greg Roman offense also means several passing concepts that attack the middle of the field at the intermediate and deep levels. Herbert has loved targeting Will Disley down the seams and standout rookie Ladd McConkey all over, but especially out the slot. The Ravens are still dead last in pass defense, although they appear to have finally turned a corner last week against the Steelers in terms of not having any miscommunication or lapses. Nevertheless, disrupting the connection between Herbert and McConkey and not allowing the Pro Bowl signal caller to gash him repeatedly is going to be paramount for the Ravens defensively, especially since Roquan Smith is not able to play. As soon as he exited the game, the Steelers began to have success throwing over the middle of the field to tight ends in particular, so ensuring that doesn't happen whether he is playing or not will be a top priority. Fifth is to get Zay Flowers back in action. It was a 5-week stretch from weeks 5 through 9 where the second-year wideout eclipsed 100+ receiving yards in 4 games when the Ravens offense looked unstoppable and he was basically unguardable. He did the vast majority of his damage in the first half of those games, including a career-high 132 yards and a franchise record 9 catches and 1 half in the team's Week 6 wins over the Washington Commanders. Flowers leads the Ravens with 52 receptions on 79 targets for 727 receiving yards in 11 games. He also has the 4th most explosive receptions of 15+ yards with 22 and has 417 missed tackles, first among all wideouts. He's going to be in for a handful. For any Chargers defensive back that he lines up against, it may be a nightmare. As we look for the Chargers in their storylines on the other end, will Greg Roman waver from his run-first approach against the Ravens' pass defense? The Ravens' defense is not what it was under Mike McDonald. Still slight out unit against the run under Zach Orr, but they are dead last in passing yards allowed. It should be no surprise that the offense seems to move at a much more efficient clip when it runs through Herbert's arm. Similar to the game against the Bengals, Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman are going to want to play keep away from the Ravens, but Baltimore only allows an average of 77.5 rushing yards per game. Second is that the Ravens' offensive line may be exploitable if the Chargers can find a way to get home on Lamar Jackson. So we are getting set to get underway in just a moment. The Ravens are the league's leading top passing offense, but a lot of success have been buoyed by the physical capabilities of Lamar Jackson. For Week 11, the offensive tackles, Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten, have each allowed at least 20 pressures this season. Stanley has also been called for 11 penalties. though he has given up no sacks, while Rosengarten has given up just 3 on the year. Daniel Falalele and Patrick Bakari have also given up 20 and 15 pressures this season. Bakari also leads the team with 12 penalties. Basically, outside of Tyler Linderbaum, the group is very much exploitable on a good pass rush, but Lamar Jackson's ability to keep pressures from turning into sacks has helped polish their stats to be prettier than they would be if there was most other NFL quarterbacks behind him. If Khalil Mack is back in form from its groin injury, the Chargers' pass rush can create a ton of havoc this week. There may not end up getting Jackson on the ground during the initial rush, but consistently forcing him off his platform is still a great place to start. Just as it's a kneel down to start off, we're underway here from SoFi Stadium, and that man, Justin Herbert, will be onto the field to start things off for LA. That's the last one. How will J.K. Dobbins fare against his former team? There is always a good measure of a revenge game. Not that there's any bad blood between the two sides. As much as Dobbins' success has brought the Chargers fan base joy this year, it'll be a whole new level to see him ball against a team that drafted him back in 2020. John Harbaugh's defensive unit out there on the field first. They deferred to the second half after winning the kickoff. Motion man to the right. It is the fullback for them. And he is going back over to the left. As Harbaugh getting set. And now another motion to the right. And a first handoff. And a power. Ravens did a good job of shutting that one down. A loss of about 2. And I believe that was Travis Jones up through the middle, stopping J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins only needs 80 yards to surpass his career-high 806 from his rookie year. And it would be absolutely insane to see him cross that threshold against the Ravens. In prime time as well. Yes. Yes, it would. So defensively, the Ravens have been a shutdown unit, but against the pass, the Ravens have been a shutdown unit against the run, but against the pass, it's been a whole different story. 2nd and 10 from the Charger 29 was a loss of 1. Fake the handoff to Dobbins. Herbert's going to throw. Over to the left. He finds his go-to man, McConkey. A first down there. Right across about the 45-yard line. 17 yards on that catch for Ladd. The Rad Lad. So I like to call him sometimes. See, as Herbert fits a tight window right over the hand of Ardarius Washington. A perfect target for Herbert. Gus Edwards in the game for the first time. He's another former Raven on this team. Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, formerly with the Baltimore Ravens. Up the middle it is Edwards. Edwards, he's shoestring by Trenton Simpson. The man out of Clemson getting a crucial tackle, but not after 5 yards on the run by the Gus Bus. We'll see how both Dobbins and Edwards fare against their former team. You know, revenge games are always a nice storyline. And no better in prime time as well. 2nd and 3. They say 7 yards on this carry by Edwards. Malik Harrison is the backup linebacker. Roquan Smith. They'll give it to Edwards again. He has a first down. Right into Raven territory. 4 yards this time. Christian Welch, who was promoted to the active roster. He was the one making a tackle. Inactive players include Rasheen Ali, Nick Samak, David Ojabo, Roquan Smith, Arthur Mollett, and Sanusi Kane for Baltimore. We're getting set to get our next play here on this next first down. 2.5 minutes gone here in this first quarter. The motion man right as Herbert's going to throw. Herbert escaping the pressure. He's going to take off himself. 5 yards on the scramble for Jay Harbaugh. As he was going for the left. That's one thing that the Ravens need to limit. So that he doesn't use his legs throughout. It may cause trouble for this Ravens defense. As you get over to the next play, I'll get the inactives for the Chargers in just a moment. 2nd and 6 is just 4 yards on the Herbert scramble. Shotgun formation, multi-tight end set. It's a handoff for Dobbins up the middle. He has the first down right across the 30-yard line, going to the 25. These two power backs. And even though Dobbins is not traditionally a power back, he's more of a speed back. He was running like a power back downhill running, in-your-face football. Classic smash mouth football at its finest. Dobbins going downhill right into Ravens defense going to the second level. 11 yards officially on the run by Dobbins. Inactives being Hayden Hurst and Easton Stick, who is the emergency third quarterback for the Chargers. Defensively, Denzel Perryman. Cam Hart, one of the starting corners for the Chargers, as Herbert's looking over to the middle. He finds his man. First down, Hayden Hurst, or rather Will Disley. I meant not to be confused because Hurst previously wore the number 81. It is Disley wearing the number 81. Hurst wears 88. So I apologize for the confusion. It is Disley through the middle. One of the safety valves for Herbert. Sets up first and goal. That pass was advanced the Chargers from the 25 to the 7-yard line. More smash mouth football. Dobbins only gets 2. That time the Ravens got the advantage that time around with the Chargers running it. So Cam Hart out with a concussion. Denzel Perryman out with a groin injury. Easton Stick, Kimani Vidal, DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, and Brendan James offensively are out. Perryman out of a groin injury. Hart is concussed. It's also dealing with an ankle injury. So those are inactives. Second and goal from the Ravens 5 as McConkey motions to the left. Herbert looks. Doesn't have anyone open. He's going to take it himself. Herbert powering his way through for the touchdown. I guess he's protecting the ball away from all these Ravens rushers on the celebration. He's just running around like he's an offensive lineman. You think of the Dan Connolly return for that celebration. That never gets old. Justin Herbert did not see anyone open, and decides to do a house call himself up for the middle. Fakes out Marlon Humphrey and gets the Chargers on the board first. At the 9:45 mark of this first quarter, Cam Dicker for the extra point. It is perfect. 7-0 Chargers to start off this game. House call. Justin Herbert, 5 yards out. In for the score. Ravens ball. Next. As per usual, you have my partner in crime joining along with me. How are we tonight for the Harbaugh Bowl, Ian?
Oh, we are Oh, we're great, Alec.
What a beautiful night it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, two brothers. Something that we have not seen in this league since Super Bowl 47 between the Ravens and the 49ers. Now, Jim is with the Chargers, fresh off a national championship with the Michigan Wolverines. And he has some of his defensive staff from Michigan come along with him too. That includes his defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. And we just saw Justin Herbert do a house call on his own, dial his own number 5 yards out, gets the opening touchdown this game. We'll see how Lamar Jackson and company respond. It's fundamentals, Ian. Yes, what Bill Belichick is explaining over at the Manning cast. Always the best as ESPN cast to tune into. Is Justin Herbert. Woo, nice little dipsy doodle on Marlon Humphrey. And Bill Belichick, for the Chargers, his keys to this game: to 1, stop the run; 2, not allow big plays; and 3, stay disciplined on the pass rush. Read option, of course the Ravens are going to go to that. Lamar Jackson gets 5 yards outside left. Classic Lamar Jackson play there. And I know the Ravens must feel a little bummed out after losing to the Steelers last week.
Yeah.
Just feels like Big Brother all over again. Weak side I formation right as Charlie Kolar motions to the right. He's the third tight end here. Derrick Henry gets his first carry, and he has 5 and the first down. Needed 5 to be exact, got 5. Some looks at Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. The Chargers defense is the top scoring defense in the league. They've allowed 14.5 points per game this season. And the most underrated aspect of them is that even though Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack may not be who they once were, everyone's getting the job done defensively on the Chargers. Lamar's going to keep it himself on the play fake. To the right. And leaping grab. Nelson Aguilar. 16 yards and another first. Flag is down, however. We are going to get a look at this call. So this may be, this actually is coming back, it seems. Patrick Ricard is getting called for a tripping penalty, and usually that's going to be 2 minutes in the penalty box. Here it's 15 yards. Oh, I don't know about that one. I feel that was a very phantom call. Ricard, I don't get it. Ricard didn't actually trip anybody. Even though he was just trying to make a cut block. But that was just a bad penalty from Carl Cheffers. Blown call. Instead it's 1st and 25. And Derrick Henry trying to find a hole. The Chargers saying no to that. And limited to just 3 yards. It is their leading tackler, Deion Henley, wearing the number 0. Second-year linebacker of Washington State. And another one of the leading linebackers for the Chargers being Junior Colson, who is on the IR but played for Jim Harbaugh at the University of Michigan. 2nd and 22 after the 3-yard carry by Henry. You got to be thinking pass here. Probably go a middle pass around as Justice Hill motions to the right. And indeed it is a pass. Lamar on the shovel to Andrews. I'm wondering where was the middle pass there, because that was a short pass to Andrews that did not work to their favor. I think the plan was they're trying to make a screen for him, and that backfired. It's 3rd and 20, just 2 yards there. Third and 20, I think if I'm the Ravens, I traditionally may be thinking towards a deep pass, bullet pass to get your guys across the first down marker, because of course you need 20 yards to get across. Lamar Jackson getting set on 3rd down, dancing in the pocket, aims towards the right side, thrown away. So that will send out Jordan Stout to punt. Jesse Minter's unit, once again, doing a good job of limiting their opponent. And through week 11, the Chargers are forced to punt on 46% of their defensive drives. So it'll be Stout to send it off. Darius Davis is going to return. Here's the punt. On the way. And Davis catches this one. He will go out of bounds right around the 12, maybe the 13-yard line. And as Herbert is warming up, we are going to break with 6:31 to go in the first quarter. Ravens, Bill Belichick's to-do list and the checklist: no big plays, third down defense, and the red zone defense. Those are the areas in which the Ravens have to capitalize on. Third down defense especially, that's the most crucial down in any football play. The Ravens couldn't get going on third down their end, but to be fair, it was 3rd and 20. The Chargers defense did an excellent job at shutting down the Ravens at their turns. 6:31 to go in the first quarter as motion right is Jalen Reagor. Play fake, Herbert keeps. Being chased by Tavis Robinson. Trying to get away for the second, he could not. It was a 4-man rush, and the Ravens found a way to get to him. He took too long in the pocket, and it cost him. Loss of free. Odafe Owe was the one getting to him. Trenton Simpson being utilized as an extra rusher. It was actually a 5-man rush, or Malik Harrison rather. Harrison got the first touch right on Herbert as he was trying to wrap him up. But as Herbert got away from him, Owe was also there, so that Herbert does not get something. So on 2nd and 13, Herbert backed up all the way to his own end zone. The ball might got a hand on it by one of the Ravens. It is incomplete, 3rd and 13. So this pass defense from the Ravens need to step up their game. And that time it was Kyle Hamilton on the left side of the field. Justin Matabike and Travis Jones as well in that area. Generating the rush. Clock stops at 5:42. Hamilton gets set. He is lined up in the nickel. Shotgun set. Diswee is to the right as the tight end. Three receivers right, one left. Harbaugh facing a five-man rush through the middle. Complete! Wide McConkey at the 25 and a first down. Well, that was Josh Palmer, rather. 5:30 to go here in this first quarter. No, they got it right. McConkey, 16 yards. The trusty connection between Harbaugh and McConkey, rookie out of Georgia. And he was a third-round pick as well, as he was going for the middle and tasked with filling in the slot role. That was swept behind him with the departure of Caden Allen. So far, McConkey is thriving there. Handoff right, it is Dobbins. Dobbins wrapped up at the 30, 5 yards. Flag down, however. I feel it may be coming back. Call from Carl Jeffers. And it is. Penalty is going to be on Zion Johnson, left guard out of Boston College. 77 in navy blue. That's the jersey combo that the Chargers are wearing. Johnson hailing from Bowie, Maryland. 1st and 20 now. Backed up at their own 15 as Jim Harbaugh and company going to get the way through. Greg Roman calling the shots from upstairs. Hamilton leading the way in Zach Orr's defense. Lined up at the nickel. Two deep safeties. Blitz. Harbaugh just gets it off to Dobbins. Dobbins fakes out a man. Forced down at the 26 by Marlon Humphrey. Goes for a gain of 11 yards as Dobbins is checking up with his guys. Finally able to get things going, Ian?
Yeah, I had to help my mom unload groceries into my Ian call.
Gotcha, man.
Yes, sir.
And so now it's 2nd and 9 after the gain of 11 on the play from Dobbins on this dump-off pass to the right. Nate Wiggins stays with his man. And here's the toss to Dobbins. Dobbins can't get the first down there, but he does get half of what is needed for a first down. So moves the Chargers closer towards that first down marker. 3rd and 5. So this Ravens run defense, second best in the league. But what confuses me with the Ravens defense is that even though they have the second best run defense, they have the worst pass defense in the league. Duality of defense.
Yeah, that's... And I think...
As we have an empty set in the meantime. 5 wide. Oh, they just got it off. Harbaugh looks, rolls right, completes it, pop free. It seemed to be complete for a moment, but Nate Wiggins at the last moment made sure Rager could not catch that one, and it forces a punt.
Yeah, I was saying, that's the frustration of a Ravens fan right now, but it's all, we got laundry.
You may be ahead of me, but oh yeah, I think there is laundry on the field. Yellow flags all over the place. I think there may be multiple penalties on the play. We're just not sure. Well, they're going to call a false start on Los Angeles. Tuli Tuipulotu, 45 in navy blue. Yeah, the frustration being about the coverage, I would think, of the Ravens. This punt from J.K. Scott. This will go on its way. Tylan Wallace calling for the fair catch. More flags fly down.
I'm thinking a hold on Baltimore, maybe?
I mean, the Manning brothers seem to agree with the notion of a holding penalty. The field judge has taken off his hat signifying a penalty, so probably they're reporting from several different angles. I'm not sure if there's a look on, let's see. Blocking what, oh yeah, blocking when out of bounds.
Oh. That's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, that is a 15-yard penalty. Blocking went out of bounds. And it'll be on the Ravens. Nate Wiggins getting called for the blocking went out of bounds penalty. So, still 7-0 Chargers, but they could not do anything on their second drive as we go to break. And we can also take this time to get some updates from around the other two leagues. Well, namely the one league that we love to watch, that being the good old National Hockey League. That starts off with the Tampa Bay Lightning, 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers.
Ouch.
I mean, if you're an Avalanche fan, you're definitely saying ouch, because you're trailing 6-1 and the Lightning have scored 6 goals, all from 6 different goal scorers.
Yeah, and real quick, I'll go ahead and address it. Yes, the Blues hired Jim Montgomery. I could not be happier. Look, listen, no disrespect to Dave Bannister, but he just wasn't getting the job done. And, Jim Montgomery spent many years as a Blues assistant. And, when a guy like that is out there in the wild, you'd be a fool not to nab him.
Yeah, no doubt, I had the feeling that he was going to be one of the top coaching candidates available, but it took only 5 days for him to be hired after he got fired by the Bruins. There's a recent trend here, Ian, that the guy before him, Bruce Cassidy, he was fired by the Bruins, hired by the Golden Knights 8 days after he was fired. But then before Cassidy, Claude Julien, after he was fired by the Bruins, 7 days later, gets hired by Montreal.
Yeah, I remember that. He got unceremoniously fired.
I mean, the Bruins at the time, they were looking for a spark and they're struggling, but that sparked the rise of Cassidy's coaching career. He was a head coach before, back with the Washington Capitals, that did not really work out all to fruition. But nonetheless, now that he has found a home in Vegas, he is thriving there as their head coach. The Ravens on the drive this time around is Derrick Henry to the right. 4 yards that time. I will believe, if I can get the numbers correct, it is Shaq Quarterman on the stop, where that was Morgan Fox, number 56. He is a defensive lineman. 2nd and 5, as it was actually 5 yards on the carry from King Henry. Lamar and company trying to tie this game up. With 2:23 to play in this first quarter. Zay Flowers is the one motion left. Jackson facing a 4-man rush to the left side. A little too high and a little late contact. Right after the pass was overthrown for Flowers. 3rd and 5. And I believe that the thinking here from the Chargers, there's rookie Tarheeb Still, 5th round pick out of Maryland, is that Flowers is going to catch that, but was a little overthrown. So now it's a 3rd down here for Baltimore with 2:17 to go. And Derrick Henry is on the sideline here. Chargers trying to stack the box, send out 4. Deep drop back for Jackson. Airs it downfield. Vicious contact. They don't throw a flag. Deontay Johnson was the intended man. However, the ball was not catchable. There was contact on the play, but because the ball was not in position where Johnson was able to catch it, there is no flag, or Johnson slipped up. No penalty on the play. Johnson slipped on his own. No pass interference. Right call. It's a 4-man rush as well. That sets out Stout again. And the Chargers once again doing their job defensively. Kick is off. Darius Davis is back deep at his own 17-yard line. He's going to return it. Splits the gap for the middle. fakes out a man, and sends some more. Able to get this over to the Charger 36. What an effort there for Darius Davis as he takes this punt about 20 yards. 1:59 left to go in the first quarter. Going to break. And speaking of the Blues, Ian, in the first game with Jim Montgomery as coach, at the end of 2, tied at 2 with the New York Rangers. That's respectable. Will Cooley has both Ranger goals, but the Blues get goals from Jordan Kyrou and Zach Bolduc. That's Bolduc's first of the year as well. The score against the Prince of New York, Igor Shesterkin. That has to be special. Capitals and Panthers tied at 1. Nico Mikkola and Lars Eller for Florida and Washington respectively. So going over for the score sheets here. Devils and Predators. New Jersey leading 4-1. The offseason champions still going to a very slow start. Things have been going well south for them. The goals from New Jersey being 4 unanswered. Philip Forsberg got the first goal. It's been all Devils since. Eric Howell tied up. And Nico Hischier. He has a natural hat trick in the second period. 11, 12, and 13th goals of the year for Hischier. And the Golden Knights and the Flyers locked into a duel. Philadelphia leading 4-3 right after they came off a come-from-behind victory against the Chicago Blackhawks, which they won in overtime thanks to Matvei Michkov. Flyers leading 4-3 thanks to Morgan Frost, Sean Couturier, Emo Andre, and Michkov. The Knights gained their goals in the second period from Jack Eichel, Ivan Barbashev, and Pavel Dorofeyev. The Stars and Hurricanes. Stars leading 3-1. Carolina got a shorty from Seth Jarvis in his return. The Tyler Seguin, Thomas Harley, Mason Marchment have the other goals. 1:59 to play here in this first period. Went over to NHL scoreline as Darius Davis getting shifty with it on the punt return from his own 17-yard line, getting it back to the 36. And after first down, so he didn't get the play. It's a short pass to Davis, who took it for the middle and ran out of bounds for 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Didn't get to see the play at the Manning cast. LA is outpacing the Ravens in time possession. This will be 2nd and 7. Single back set. Dobbins there. 3 wide receivers on the field. Or is it 2 tight ends? Trying to figure things out. Oh, did they get the snap off on time? The officials say they did as Dobbins runs for the middle. Ravens swallow him up. Force a 3rd down. It was short the first down marker, 2 yards shy of it, as Lab McConkey subs back in. 1 minute to go here, and McConkey, in this game so far, 2 catches, 33 yards. Chargers only need 2 yards to convert a first down, as both McConkey and Quentin Johnston are both out there. They were on opposite sides of the national championship game 2 years ago, with McConkey's Bulldogs blowing out Johnston's Horned Frogs. 35 seconds left in the quarter. And here's a shotgun handoff for a first down and a lot more for Dobbins in the Raven territory. Past the 40, where he is down. Dobbins' toughness is an area of key to witness it for a shotgun handoff that opened up a large hole for the right, set by the right guard and right tackle, Trey Pipkins and Joe Alt, to take us to the end of the first quarter. Chargers leading 7-0. That'll take us to quarter number 2.
So far, The Chargers seem to be a little more in control than the Ravens right now. Quick, based on your assessment, are they running the ball? Are the Ravens running the ball with Henry enough, or are the Chargers defending the run well?
For what I can seem to take a grasp on it, so let's look at the one side. Derrick Henry has 3 carries for 13 yards. But what we need to also count for is time of possession battle. That may not seem like enough for the Ravens for Derrick Henry, but do remember, the Chargers have had the ball for 10 minutes and 48 seconds. The Ravens have had the ball for 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I would think that do remember this, Ian. The Chargers have the top scoring defense in the NFL. So opportunities are going to be earned for the Ravens, not given. They'll have to earn it here. And it's not like Lamar Jackson is faring well either. As you start off, 1 for 4 for just 2 yards. That only pass completion to Mark Andrews. So, to my assessment, the Chargers are playing well-rounded football. And I think it's more to do with the defense of the Chargers than it is with the lack of handoffs to Derrick Henry.
I see. Well, thank you for the assessment, Alec. On to the second quarter.
There you go. So yeah, in this meantime, I did mention beforehand about a Nico Hischier natural hat trick for New Jersey. That's an impressive feat to accomplish for anyone. It's the Flames and Senators on Prime Monday Night Hockey on Amazon Prime in Canada. Ottawa leads 2-1. The go-ahead goal from Brady Tkachuk on a power play. Jonathan Huberdeau having himself a nice bounce-back year. He is up to 7 goals on the season. He has won on-demand advantage. 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points. A nice bounce-back for his team. But the real star of the show, Dustin Wolf. But now we do have an update. The goal from Tkachuk instead credited to Jake Sanderson. Or are they going to wave this one off? That's what I was going... And what Calgary's trying to wonder. Are they going to wave this goal off for something? We'll have to check back at that in a moment as we're going to begin the second quarter. Chargers in the navy blue. Ravens in the white. Chargers moving from right to left. In this second quarter. On the keep, it's Herbert. Swings it out left for Dobbins. Dobbins fakes out a man. Reinforcements coming to stop him. 6, maybe 7 yards. Depends on the spot. It'll be a second down here. We'll actually say 5 yards on the swing pass left. Malik Harrison, the stop. And Harrison is getting regular reps here because Roquan Smith is not playing tonight. He is out with a hamstring injury. He left last week's game against the Steelers with a hamstring injury. On the motion left is Ladd McConkey. Hand off middle, Gus Edwards. The Gus Bus. 1 yard shy at the first down. Actually say it was 2nd and 4. So he gets 3 yards. Not enough for the first. But probably a measure of advantage for either one of Edwards or Dobbins. It would work out so well for the both of them. For the one, this is going to be a huge call here for Greg Roman. See if Edwards can pound it through the middle. They're going with the fullback out there onto the field. 44 in navy blue. Edwards trying to power. This is going to be very close. They'll say no gain on the play.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't look like he got any traction.
It's Scott Matlock, the fullback, as an extra tight end on the field. Though he was utilized in I formation, Matlock is still out there. He is the fullback for LA, 4th and 1. As Herbert wanting to pound us through. Motion man left is Matlock. He is motioning to the right. Straight away, Edwards. And was there any doubt? Powers his way through. It's a first down, LA.
All right.
He went with a extra tight end there, that being Matlock, the fullback. And he is also a defensive lineman who can get some extra muscle onto the field. So Olivia and Archie Manning are also watching Peyton and Eli Manning. We're also watching Peyton and Eli Manning from back in the day. I wonder where the rest of the Harbaugh family is at. Get him out there for this game. They want to watch this. As his first down for Justin Herbert. Moves up front, shovels it over to Dobbins. Jumbled up by Trenton Simpson and Malik Harrison. And Herbert has to be feeling something. He did not look comfortable on that shovel pass. Zach, go ahead.
I was going to ask, is there an injury on the field?
It looked to me that Herbert might have got stung, but no worse for where he's fighting through the pain. 2nd and 7. So, not really an injury onto the field, just a little how do you do from the pass rush of the Ravens. They send out the blitz. Herbert going for the moonshot to the end zone. Incomplete. Almost had it for Quentin Johnston, who had the pass broken up by Nate Wiggins. So Herbert not afraid to take the shots downfield, and even though Josh Palmer was open, Herbert wanted the one-on-one matchup. He liked that in favor of Johnston for Wiggins. Johnston more of a big body receiver, but Wiggins may have gotten a hand on it. He did get a hand onto the ball, and that impeded with Johnston's progress. 3rd and 7, Ravens have several guys at the line of scrimmage. Ravens send 4. Herbert to the left for Dobbins. Dropped. Chris Board does the job, and that forces the field goal unit to come onto the field for the Chargers as Dobbins dropped a gimme pass from Justin Herbert. I mean, if you're going through a go route outside left, you got to look at that ball. Dobbins didn't look like he turned around and looked at that. Cameron Dicker, 21-23 on the year. This will be from 42. And it will be a straightaway attempt. On the way, it's good. Cameron Dicker makes it a 2-score game. Chargers at double digits, 10-0.
The Ravens have not scored yet. That's, I gotta be honest, Alec. It's early, but it's early. It is very early, but the Ravens are a team, when they win, they usually strike first and they strike fast. This is not like them. I mean, how many times have they been down with no points scored after the first quarter?
Not a lot of times you see that happening. But now we're seeing this. It feels like the code might have been cracked. If the Steelers may have provided the blueprints for that, and Jim Harbaugh and company may be following suit, I don't know if that's the case or if we're seeing something else.
Well, if that's the case, then the Ravens got to be careful.
Yeah, they have to, because outside the Chiefs, the other team that I don't, if I'm the Ravens, that I do not want to face in the playoffs are the Steelers.
Agreed.
Yeah, as for the goal in the second period from the Senators, they say it's a good goal. They're not giving to Brady Tkachuk. It instead goes to Drake Bafferson. Jake Sanderson gets the primary assist on the goal. Tim Stutzla, the secondary assist. Red Wings and Islanders. Islanders lead 2-1 at UBS Arena. Anders Lee, Kyle Palmieri the goals for the Islanders. Mort Seider for the Red Wings. Jets and Wild. This may be game of the day, a game of the night in the NHL. The two best teams in the Western Conference by record, Jets and Wild tied 1-1. Winnipeg 17-4-0. Minnesota is 13-3-4. And the goals coming in the form of Jake Middleton for the Wild and Alex Iafallo for the Jets.
Yep. I'll go ahead and provide another update. Blues take the Blues Rangers 3-2 advantage Blues. Third goal. Goals for the Rangers include Will.
Cooley.
Is that pronounced Kyle?
It's Cooley.
Will Cooley. Oh, yeah, both by Will Cooley. Goals for the Blues come from Jordan Kyrou, Zach Bolduc, and most recently Braden Shen.
Shen at the 1:10 mark of the third period. That is your recent update from the Blues game as we are back in action here. So we're still at the opening third of this second quarter. It is the Ravens with the ball after the Cameron Dicker field goal. Lamar Jackson, strong side I formation. He hands it off this time to Derrick Henry. Henry's rumbling. Henry hurdles. Henry powers. He's near midfield where he is down after 17 yards. That's what you do if you're the Ravens. Feed the king. And they have three tight ends out there on the field, including their fullback, Patrick Ricard, who like Chargers fullback Scott Matlock, can also play defensive line in limited capacity. It is an 80-yard run as he was down at the 48.5-yard line. Ricard motions left, going back to Henry. Henry into Charger territory, first down across the 40. Down at the 37-yard line, so back-to-back times, they go to the King. He produces double-digit rushing yards, 18 and 14. Power rushing at its finest. He set up the blocking lanes, respectively, towards the right and to the left sides, and Henry has earned himself a well-earned rest. Justice Hill is in this game. He is running to the left. More of a speed back. He gets 5. A solid 5. I wonder if Henry's going to get back in. Last week, 13 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. The Chargers, they've been rolling nicely as of late. Finding their stride under Jim Harbaugh, but this is one of the few times in which they're getting tested truly. Two receivers on the field. You got two tight ends as well. And one of them is a fullback. It's a 2-1-2 formation. Play fake as Jackson's going to look. Throwing it downfield towards the end zone for Bateman. Fight for the ball. Forced out of his hands. Gilman with the breakup. It was a post route for Rashad Bateman, who ran a deep route down the field, going one-on-one with Alohi Gilman, one of the rising stars on this Chargers defense, an underrated player. I feel he should get the credit that he truly deserves on the Charger defense. Shotgun formation for Baltimore, 3rd and 5. Jackson, bump fakes. Fakes down a defender, trying to pass it himself, and does. The catch secured by Mark Andrews in the red zone. 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Baltimore getting 16 yards and advancing to the Chargers 16, courtesy of their trusty tight end from Scottsdale, Arizona. Lamar runs behind his right tackle, Roger Rosengarten, and delivers over to his safety valve, Mark Andrews, as he was able to get both feet in bounds to secure that catch. Ricard motioning to the left, acting as a third tight end. Henry for the middle. Derrick Henry rumbles. He's got another first down. Down at the 5-yard line. And what you're hearing right now is the banging on the door from the king as his kingdom is marching onto enemy lines. Todd Monken still... Was it? Strong side I formation as Kolar motions right. Flag is on the field. Derrick Henry trying to get to the end zone. He does. Now the flag is down. The question is, who is it on? Are they going to call the Ravens for illegal formation? Yes, they will. Roger Rosengarten is getting called for illegal formation. So this will wipe off the Derrick Henry penalty. We have seen this 3 times with Ronnie Stanley and opening night against the Kansas City Chiefs. This time it's Rosengarten, the right tackle, getting called for the illegal formation. I think he was not set at the right tackle side. That's what's hurt the Ravens all year. Penalties. Especially at the most inopportune times. 7:55 left to go in the second quarter. We'll do this over again. First and goal. Lamar Jackson keeps. He's going to the right. And he will pounce his way in for the touchdown. Well, fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Well, I'm not going to get fooled out twice, says Lamar Jackson. Whew. It's a nice little fake at the end, right on Deion Henley. As Jackson does a house call of his own. Lights, camera, action, Jackson. That's what the sign says over at the stands. As Lamar calls his own number, initially looked like to be a Derrick Henry run towards the left, but Jackson faked that out. Does a house call to his right. Extra point from Justin Tucker. That's good. And the Ravens within a field goal. The ground game all spread out as Jackson fakes out the last line defense that time in Deion Henley. Coming over from his linebacker spot. We'll go to break here. There's still no updates, but okay, we got an update from Raleigh, North Carolina at the Lenovo Center, where Eric Stahl's jersey number will be retired on January 12th. And tying this one up in a span of 2 minutes and 33 seconds, Sebastian Aho and Brent Burns. Aho from Seth Jarvis and Dmitry Orlov. Burns from Jordan Stahl and Jordan Martinook. And what was once a free 1-stars lead is now a free tie game. On the later games, in the 10 o'clock slate, the Kraken and the Ducks meet at the Honda Center. Kings and the Sharks at the SAP Center. Getting set for Macklin Mania. And an update from Amaranth Bank Arena. The Washington Capitals, in the absence of Alex Ovechkin, get a power play goal from Jacob Chychrun. Dylan Strome with his 23rd assist. A team-leading 23rd assist. This set up Chychrun's power play marker. Tom Wilson, the other assist. Tampa Bay has a touchdown and extra point. And it's Jake Gensel, the first 2-time goal scorer of this game for the Lightning. And the second one overall as Ivan has both goals for Colorado. Gensel has a power play goal and an even strength goal. It's 7-2 Tampa. So those are our latest updates around in the NHL. Well, these ones are coming around so quickly. The Ottawa Senators get a first career goal from Cole Reinhardt. No relation to Sam Reinhardt. Ridley Gregg and Jake Sanderson the assists. I'm amazed that these updates are coming rather fast. And again, it's an 11-game slate in the NHL. The NBA has a similar busy slate. We'll get to those momentarily once the final scores become available. One game is nearing its end. The Pelicans and Pacers, they have 2:11 left in the fourth quarter. So Peyton Manning showcasing some of the highlights and quarterback routine.
Hey, Alec.
What's up?
I want to make a quick... So, during the NHL offseason, when the coaching hires were happening, I told you and, I don't remember who else was in the space with us. I think it might have been John, but I said that Craig Berube was going to be either a bad hire or the best thing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so far, my hunch was spot on.
Best thing for the Toronto Maple Leafs indeed so far. And he is coaching that part. This week a swing pass left for Darius Davis. He gets 1 yard. But I've been impressed by the Maple Leafs with the amount of resiliency that they have been going up against. At one point, they have 6 guys out of injury and Ryan Reeves out to suspension. Right now, as of late, they have won 6 of their last 7 games without Austin Matthews. An impressive streak, Ian.
Wait, is Matthews injured and I just missed that bit of news?
I mean, Matthews was injured. He visited a specialist in Germany for injury evaluation. Harbaugh to the left. Sideline catch. Josh Palmer. First down.
Wow.
So to recap, Matthews was injured. I have to reevaluate what exactly he was hurt at, but he was injured. His guys were able to get the job done yesterday against the Utah Hockey Club. But still good for the Leafs as they are right behind the Florida Panthers in the Atlantic Division standings. First down for the Chargers. Handoff for Edwards. The Ravens swarm him at the line of scrimmage as he was trying to run right. It's a Canadian making a stop. Brent Urban, native of Mississauga, Ontario.
Yeah. Quick update from the Blues and Rangers game. Zach Baldock with his second goal of the game and, worthy to note, his second goal of the season.
First 2-goal game of his career. That's a big feat for having your first goal of the season. Here's Herbert on second down, able to get away from one man. Dumps off to a safety valve, Will Disley, who was wrapped up by Chris Board. It is third down, but Disley was able to get 7, maybe 8 yards. It all depends on the spot. They'll give him 8 yards. So yeah, Matthews is dealing with an undisclosed upper body injury. He visited a specialist in Germany, but as of right now, he is practicing and may be on track to return for Wednesday's match against the Florida Panthers.
That's good for them. That's good. It's good for the Leafs because I don't care how much talent you got or what kind of momentum you have. Not having a player of Matthews' caliber is going to... The toll it will take will rear its ugly head eventually. So the sooner he can come back, the better.
So after J.K. Dobbins went up the middle for 1 yard, there's a face mask penalty. So actually not a face mask penalty, a holding penalty on the Chargers' 4th tight end, Tucker Fisk. And I said 4th tight end because the Chargers have 4 tight ends on the roster. Hayden Hurst is out with a hip injury. So Will Disley is the starter. 2 backups are Stone Smart and Tucker Fisk. It'll be 3rd and 11 for LA. Lad McConkey is the motion man to the right. Big shoes to fill for him given that he has taken the place of Keenan Allen, who is now on the Bears. For the middle, Herbert. McConkey, not enough. 4th down. Excellent defense from Chris Board. They needed 11. McConkey got only 8. And despite being the motion man, the Ravens, despite having the worst pass defense in the league, defended that one perfectly. And that will send out J.K. Scott for the punt on 4th and 2. It was 4th and 11. He got 9. Not enough. Scott gets it off. Back deep is Tylan Wallace. And Wallace gets a friendly bounce as it was behind him. But it will be down right around the 5-yard line as Harbaugh was soaked down with 3:54 to go in the second quarter, with the Chargers still leading 10-7. And I'll tell you what, Ian, about the Leafs injuries, it's a heap of them. It's not just Matthews, as I'll read off the list. Max Domi, lower body. Matt Nyes, upper body, placed on IR. David Kempf, lower body, placed on long-term IR, unavailable until December 14th. Max Pacioretty, lower body, placed on long-term IR. Kalle Yarncroke, sports hernia, out month to month, placed on IR. So that's 6 guys who are out with injuries for the Leafs. And despite that, they are right behind the Florida Panthers in the standings.
For the best record in the conference?
In the division.
Oh.
Or actually, they are ahead of the Panthers. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
They are 2 points behind. They are 2 points behind the Devils and 1 point behind the Hurricanes. So that's 2 teams ahead of them, but yeah, they're hanging in there.
And the fact that they are able to hang in with the league's elite, despite having the multitude of injuries, is an impressive feat for Craig Berube, and he speaks to his coaching prowess.
I said it before. A team like the Leafs, with all that talent, you're putting Craig Berube in a position just like in St. Louis, where a team's ready. They just need a leader. They just need the right coach.
And so far, they have that right coach. We go back to you.
Yep. All right. We're still at commercial break. We should be getting back on the field soon.
Yep. See it. And as for Toronto, having to rely on call-ups like Fraser Minton, who, when I covered the Leafs last Wednesday, he got his first career NHL goal on a perfect setup by William Nylander. How's about that for you? Here's Derrick Henry. Henry's wrapped up. He gets 5. And coming in on him was Pona Ford, the former Seattle Seahawk. 3:40 to go in the quarter. Yeah, Minton was called up. Alex Steeves was called up. Nikita Grabenkin, who used to be a total unknown in Leafland, now is one of their better prospects. He too was called up, and he was being lights out in terms of physicality. 2nd and 5. All I formation here for the Ravens, as it is Henry one more time. Henry does not get the first down. This Chargers defense doing an excellent job at limiting the Ravens' opportunities. Four yards for Henry, but he needed 5 for the first down, but he's staring at 3rd and 1. They get Bateman out there. Single back set, Henry. Not even close. Excellent defense by the Chargers, and they munch him up at the line of scrimmage. shut down quickly. 1-2, 3 and out. We want to get Aguilar back in for an extra body. And the Ravens trying to convert on 4th down. Chargers trying to jumble up the line. Are the Ravens trying to draw the Chargers off sides? I think that may be the plan. As Lamar Jackson switching up to a shotgun set. I think you have to pay attention to the hard count. The Ravens are not trying to run a play. They did not run a play. And Chargers like that. We are now at the 2-minute warning.
Oh.
Well, and you know, it's better that the Ravens have this go to the 2-minute warning, because if this was not the 2-minute warning, you would be looking at this being at the way of game penalty for the Ravens.
Yeah. So when we get to halftime, I'll immediately the Blues are, there is a big difference in this Blues team with Jim Montgomery. And now it's one game, but the difference is evident. And I'll tell you what that is when we reach halftime.
All right. We'll have you on standby for that. We have some more updates around. Nashville has made a 3-goal game at The Rock. They still trail 4-2. Zach Loero gets his 2nd career goal in the NHL. So the Blues, as you mentioned, Zach Bolduc with 2. The Golden Knights have tied it up on the Flyers. They had 3 goals in the second period. They tied up thanks to Tanner Pearson with his 5th of the season. And the Carolina Hurricanes have their first lead over the Dallas Stars. They trail by 2 goals. And they have scored 3 unanswered goals here in the 3rd period. Shane Gostisbehere on the man advantage from Martin Necas and Sebastian Aho. If you want to know how bad it is for the Avalanche, they're down 8-2. That the Lightning, they got 2 goals from Jake Gensel, 1 each from Nick Perbix, Nikita Kucherov, Luke Glendening, Anthony Cirelli, Braden Point, and now Michael Eyssimont. It's that bad for Colorado, but I expected something close, but not something reminiscent of Game 3 of the 2022 Stanley Cup Final. That 6-2 blowout with the Lightning winning. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, you know, even with all that talent, Alec, you got to ask yourself, with all the injuries that they have, because to my knowledge, they have a significant amount of injuries already, including Landeskog, who there's real concern that he may not play another game for the Avalanche.
We don't know about if he's ever going to return in the season. Well, the Ravens, they did convert a first down off their own version of the brotherly shove as Lamar Jackson shut down as he was trying to run right. Tuli Tuipulotu 2 with 1:17 to go in the quarter. The Ravens tried their own version of the tush push. It worked with Mark Andrews under center and not Lamar Jackson. But as Lamar tried to run away, he could not escape as Lamar dumps off to Justice Hill. Oh, he is smooth and shaky with this. Now they have all 3 timeouts. What I'm thinking is that they're intending to, they're going on the hurry up. They ran out a lot of clock that just now they're going on the hurry up. 3rd and 2. They have all 3 timeouts. Dump off for Flowers, running left. Flowers trying to get a lane, trying to outrun his guys over to midfield, out of bounds. 37 seconds to go in the half. That will stop the clock. He did get a first down at the 30-yard line, but immediately after he caught that ball, he took off and outran his guy Elijah Molden, 22. towards the Ravens sideline left. Shotgun set. Lamar Jackson getting set at his own 48. That's the line of scrimmage. First down marker is the Charger 42. Field goal range, I would believe it's around the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. Deep drop back for Jackson. Airing it over to the left side. And that's over the head of Rashad Bateman, and a flag comes in. Was there a push-off? They did say number 7, but it's on the defense. It's not Rashad Bateman. It is the former Tennessee Titan, Christian Fulton, who got in the way of Bateman right before the pass was being thrown towards him. And I thought that was more in the line of illegal contact, not when the ball was being contested. So it's not pass interference to me. It's more illegal contact. Zay Flowers to the left. Lamar Jackson, play fake. Airing this one out towards the end zone, looking for Bateman. And what a catch by Bateman! Now a flag comes in. I don't think this will stand. Bateman should have the touchdown. A limited hole for him to operate through. What a catch in coverage for RB7. Wow. How did he get that? I don't understand.
This is where the danger comes in.
It was more of a clear out route for Rashad Bateman as he went down through the left. He wasn't even open one bit. Christian Fulton was impeding his progress and he still caught that. Justin Tucker's extra point down the middle. And with 24 seconds to go, the Ravens lead for the first time tonight. A big gamble by Todd Monken pays off here, which should take us to the end of the first half if the Chargers decide to kneel the rest of this clock out. But what a catch in tight coverage by Bateman, who showcases talent as a first-round pick. What a throw. It's like, I'm going to take my shot. And Bateman's being utilized as a deep threat. There was interference by Fulton. Didn't matter in the end. Now, I know for a fact that Deontay Johnson's stats are very disappointing with the Ravens. But to me, I don't think it's a case of him struggling, but rather a case of him being underutilized.
I'd have to agree. To be honest, Deontay Johnson, I don't know. He's just never seemed like one of those. You know, actually, I gotta be honest. From what I've heard, he seems more as a liability because of his drop issues. But literally, that's all I hear. Whether it's Steelers or Panthers fans, he drops balls.
Got a timeout here on the field with 24 seconds to go. Chargers ball, but it's a Ravens defensive timeout, so they decide to save their free timeouts for the sequence for defensive purposes. I believe the Chargers, they want to get a field goal before the end of the half. They have all free timeouts. Well, Deontay has his talents nonetheless. But looking at him, his drop issues are polarizing, but I want to see more of him if I'm a Ravens fan. To see his true value for what he got traded for. Yeah, he was involved in that swap between him and Dante Jackson. So, the third quarter special guest The Manning cast are Owen and Luke Wilson. The fourth is Mike Vrabel. Deep drop back for Herbert. Gets away from two guys. Herbert's going to run it himself. Herbert will run it out of bounds at the Ravens sideline. And Malik Harrison avoids a shove out of bounds to avoid an unnecessary roughness penalty. I don't want to reference whatever game in the past, but I have to be sure that when I mention unnecessary roughness for a late shove out of bounds, people got to be thinking about that one AFC Championship game between the Chiefs and Bengals. That's for another story, though. 2nd and 2 as Herbert looks, firing it deep down the field, and it's overthrown. Josh Palmer is intended man. It'll be 3rd and 2, 11 seconds. I don't intend on taking shots towards any team, but it may be a painful reminder of what to do and what not to do when playing football. Difference in this game is 4 points. Chargers started with the ball in this game. They will be the ones defending first in the second half. The Ravens will be operating offensively by then. Empty set for LA. No, it's a shotgun set. 2 left and 2 right. Herbert will look to the right side. Caught along the sideline. Out of bounds. With the catch is Jalen Reagor. First down. It's important for Reagor that he has to get both feet tiptoeing into when he makes that catch, and he does. Just as Cameron Dicker is warming up for the field goal try once the Chargers get in range. They're not in Dicker's range yet. I think they'll have to advance to right around the 38-yard line, I would believe. And another timeout. That'll be the Ravens. Play some tight coverage if I am the Ravens on this defensive sequence. So you have 2 final scores. The Orlando Magic defeat the Charlotte Hornets 95-84. 21 for Franz Wagner as they overcome a 44-point effort from LaMelo Ball. The only other double-digit point scorer, Brandon Miller with 20. No other Hornet has more than 9. Seth Curry, who was coming off the bench. 7 seconds left in the half. Jim Harbaugh's team trying to get into field goal range so as to make it a 1-point game before the half. What will Herbert do here? And it's 2 left and 2 right. They're at their own 49, not Dicker's range. On the snap, Herbert. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, caught, and a slide. And they're in range. Josh Palmer secures it. They are in Cameron Dicker's range. And I would believe it's going to be a 53-yard attempt. The Chargers call timeout. A quick pass over the middle for Palmer, who got just enough of that right over the heads of Travis Jones as Palmer slides. Did not think selfishly, and Dicker's trotting out there. It'll be a straightaway kick for Dicker. I believe it's 53 yards for him. Officially, it's 52. And the Ravens are trying to ice him. That's why the Ravens use a final timeout. They're trying to ice Cameron Dicker. So the other final score in the NBA, the Pacers downing the injury-riddled Pelicans 114-110. The Pelicans did make it interesting. 24 points from Trey Murphy and 23 from C.J. McCollum. But 34 with 13 assists from Tyrese Halliburton in the win for Indiana. In the speed capital of the United States. As a reference to IndyCar. The Indy 500 and the Brickyard 400 synonymous with Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Dicker from 52. It'll be a straightaway kick. J.K. Scott to hold Josh Harris's snap. On the way, Dicker's kick. And no doubt about it, the Chargers make it a 1-point game at halftime with the Ravens leading 14-13, and Jim Harbaugh fired up at his guys for a successful drive. Okay, so we're at the halftime. You want to note something about Jim Montgomery, Ian?
Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. So the game is finally over. So I can read you off this stat. The Blues, up to this point, if my data is correct, they have had their highest shots on goal total for the season against the Rangers with 43 and culminated 5 goals out of those 43 shots on goal. I believe they were averaging somewhere in the high 20s, low 30s before Jim Montgomery. This is the first time I believe they've cracked 40.
Oh.
Now, the power play is still a mess. I'm not going to lie about that. But if you're able to put up 40 shots a night, chances are you're going to win a lot.
And that the Blues did. And they put up 43 on the night, scoring 4 times off of Igor Shesterkin before the empty netter by Pavel Buchnevich. So that's a good start for the Jim Montgomery era, who was an assistant under Craig Berube in St. Louis in 2022. Back then, Montgomery, he was the one running the power play, and at that year, it was one of the league's best. This power play may still be a work in progress, but with time, if Montgomery can coach us an elite power play back then, I think the Blues power play should be able to get into a respectable statistic. Not at the elite numbers that I expect them to back in 2022, but at least some form of respectability, because comparing this year's Blues and the 2022 Blues, the 4 cores, different. Extremely different.
Yeah. Plus, here's the thing. Even with a record of 10-12-1, this early in the season, you are still well within range of the division leaders and only 3 points out of a wild card spot. They could easily get one of those spots if they are consistent in a positive trajectory. If they're negative if their trajectory is negative, then embrace that. Get a high draft pick so you can get a ready prospect. The worst thing you can be in this sport is mediocre.
Hey, that's an absolute worst position that you could be in. You don't want to be a mediocre coach. Or you don't want to be in a mediocre spot, I meant to say. So after the firing of Drew Bannister, so ESPN put out an article about which coaches in this league are on the hot seat, and one of those listed being Derek Lalonde of the Detroit Red Wings. Now, one name appeared at or near the top of every hot seat ranking. Lalonde, for whom all the boxes can be checked for a coach in trouble. The Red Wings, they've regressed in the standings after last year. The offense is way down from last season, and the 1.52 goals per 60 at 5-on-5 is second worst in the league. It's not about puck luck. They are averaging 2.06 expected goals per 60, which is dead last in the entire league. They're better in goals against per game season over season. But a lot of that credit should go to Cam Talbot, who was making Steve Yzerman look smart. But the biggest heartbreaker was the one that haunted Jim Montgomery. Derek Lalonde does not have a contract beyond 2025. Speculation here, Ian, is that if the Red Wings don't make the playoffs, then that means Derek Lalonde is gone. Simple as that. But will Yzerman be willing to pull the plug during the season in the hopes of getting the Red Wings back to the playoffs? Or does he wait until after the season?
See, that is a tough call because right now, the Red Wings sit 5 points out of a wild card spot at the moment. I mean, and the 2 wild card spots are held by the Rangers and the Sabres.
The Sabres are third in the Atlantic. You mean the Bruins?
No, I mean the Sabres.
Yeah, the Sabres, they're in a wild card spot. I was confused. The Sabres, they're 5 points out of a wild card spot.
Well, they were third in the Atlantic, but with that win by the Lightning tonight, the Lightning overtake them.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But also to the Red Wings, they have the worst goals for in the Eastern Conference at just 49 goals scored. Now it's at 51, but entering tonight, just 49. And the only one that they were better at in goals for, the Anaheim Ducks, were just 1 goal behind them.
I don't, if you're Yzerman, because right now, this team, because here's the thing about the Red Wings is that they have a lot of young talent that if they get the right dose of momentum, well, any team can do that, but if they especially do, they can do something with it. It's just making sure that night in and night, because, well, okay, so right away I'm noticing something that's a big red flag, and that is the Red Wings only had 19 shots on goal. They're leading 3-2, but they only have 19 shots on goal. They need to get that. They need to get those up.
Yes.
And I don't think this is the year to do it now. Tell me something, Alec. Do you know if they have any expiring player contracts?
That could be. So I'll check on Cap Wages, which is the new site, which is the alternative to Cap Friendly now. So if we look at players on expiring contracts, Patrick Kane's on a 1-year deal. The other players that are on expiring contracts, Christian Fischer, UFA. Tyler Mott, UFA. Jeff Petrie, UFA. Alex Lyon, 1-year deal. He will be a UFA after this summer. So the RFAs are Jonathan Berggren and Albert Johansson. But Berggren's the main one. But those veterans I mentioned, Fisher, Petrie, Lyon, I would believe out of those 3, you would keep Fisher and Lyon in such a case.
How is Kane doing this season?
So far, Patrick Kane in his age 36 campaign, I'll have to check his statistics because I have to get over to the Red Wings stats. So the team leader in points is Lucas Raymond with 19. Nobody on the team is averaging a point per game. Kane is averaging half a point per game. He has 10 points in 20 games.
How many goals?
3. And it may be clear that he's not what he was, but what Red Wings fans were signing up for is that he would at least produce in decent numbers for standards. 10 points in 20 games is not going to cut it for Detroit.
No, but you know what? This is the year that this is gonna be Malone's last year with that team. It's quite obvious. And if it is, and if it isn't, then I'm not sure what Yzerman sees. But if I'm Detroit, take those one-year deals that you know you're not going to bring back. Like, let's face it. You're not bringing back Kane. I don't know, other than Fisher and the RFAs, the other guys are free game. Get what you can for them at the deadline. Go into next offseason with the mentality of this is it, right?
Yes.
This is where we make our stride. Now, see, I feel like what would have served them is that they have been able to get a Jim Montgomery. But with that being said, I think the Red Wings, maybe they go after trying to think. Let's go. Okay, I don't know if he's technically retired or if he's okay in the broadcast booth, but what would you think about Bruce Boudreau for the Red Wings?
Okay, so there's one step in the direction of which you could be going with a reputable head coach if you want to bring someone with capable playoff experience. And even though his track record isn't all that great in terms of playoffs, he at least can take you to there.
Yeah, because right now, that's where the Red Wings are at. They need to get back to the playoffs. And correct me if I'm wrong, the Red Wings core is still relatively young, correct?
Larkin, Raymond being their two main centerpieces. You also have DeBrincat in the core, Sider, and Edvinson's just entered in as well. You can build around them. Plus, you got solid middle six pieces in Comfort and Kopp that you can build around. Rasmussen as well.
Correct.
So
yeah, I would think, look, unless a coach gets fired and you think that's an option, right now, I truly believe that if you're looking for something outside of the usual coaching circles, because let's be real, Alec, there's not going to be another Jim Montgomery getting fired and a team can pounce on, and the Red Wings can pounce on that. Right now, Boudreau is the name that I'm thinking of. If you have another one, I'd love to hear it, but that's the first name that comes to mind.
Well, another one that I was thinking of was Jay Woodcroft. He wasn't hired in the last offseason's coaching cycle, but he's available.
That would also be good. Jay Woodcroft, that was the Oilers coach before he got fired, correct?
Yeah, before Chris Knobloch was brought in. So, second half is just started. Ravens have the ball. So, they'll be the ones driving offensively. There will be more on the Red Wings coaching situation, but we do know that Derek Lalone could be possibly gone after this season. Whether it be Bruce Boudreau, Jay Woodcroft, or someone else, Steve Yzerman will have his marbles set out for him to decide which path he's going to go. Two receivers on this play, a tight end, a fullback, and a running back. They have Derrick Henry out there. Right behind, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Ricard, the fullback, is out there. On the snap, they'll go to the right, feed Henry. Henry gets off the first contact, but not away from Joey Bosa. The elder Bosa, still going. And the two Manning brothers are still doing business around. In just a moment, they'll be joined by special guests Owen and Luke Wilson.
Oh boy.
Wow. 2nd and 7 here as Justice Hill is on the receiving end being used as a wide receiver. On the screen, the Chargers were not fooled one bit. Deion Henley was the one who was acting like a spy on the route. And of course, he was indeed a spy, paid attention to it, and blew that screenplay up. 3rd down. Loss of 2 on the play. So they'll set things up towards the outside left. 3 Chargers crowded Justice Hill. We'll see how 3rd and 9 goes on the shotgun set with 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Lamar Jackson looking. Gets away from 2 guys. A dump off for Mark Andrews. Andrews gets across the 1st down marker, evading Derwin James. 1.5 minutes into the 3rd quarter, Andrews showcasing what makes him a good tight end. Still going strong. That's a gain of 11 yards for him. Says Andrews, he does a double move right out Alohi Gilman and delayed reaction for Derwin James as Andrews motions left, going one-on-one with Tuipulotu. Sets the block for Henry. Henry goes through the middle, gets 3.5 yards. The 1st down marker was the 36.5 yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 6.5. Not so often they use half yards, but when it goes to the case where it's visible, it will be the usage. Lightning win 8-2 at Amalie Arena. 2nd and 7 for Lamar Jackson and company. Once again, a single back set. Ricard is the one motioning left. Audible here, so they're adjusting the play. Handoff left for Henry. Blown up. T.R. Tart, the first one there. Loss of 3. And it'll get them back to the original line of scrimmage for 3rd and 10. Tart from his nose tackle position got by through 2 guys, Linderbaum and Macari, split the double team, and was able to bring down Henry from behind. Alongside Tuipulotu. 3 right and 1 left. Shotgun set with Henry to the left. Here's Lamar. 4-man rush by the Chargers. Being forced to his right by Bosa. Lamar on the run for the right, and it's caught! Zay Flowers, what a play! Towards the sideline, got both feet down. It is a 1st down. 25 yards. Zay with the play. Bosa let him escape a little bit to the right, but then when he forced him towards that right, that paved the way for Flowers to make that catch and get both feet down. Now I wonder if Jim Harbaugh is going to challenge it. Challenge window is open. Shotgun set. Now the challenge window is closed. Lamar splits the gap for the left. He's going to throw it towards the end zone. Almost intercepted. It went over Flowers. Christian Fulton had it and lost it. And Jackson's yelling at this guy to jump. Flowers is not a tall receiver. but at least he should have jumped there so as to prevent a possible interception from Fulton. Baltimore dodges a bullet. Shotgun set, 2 left and 2 right. It'll be Jackson to pass. Blitz coming from James. Jackson cannot get away. A perfect blitz from Derwin James sets up the sack by Otito Ogbonia, which will be his first of the year. They were not on the same page blocking-wise among the Ravens' offensive line, as Justice Hill was blown up by James. He was the one creating the pressure. Ogbonia finished him off. Another 3rd down this drive at the Los Angeles 33. Here is Jackson facing a blitz. Dump off for Flowers. He at least will get some more yardage for Justin Tucker to kick. And he is down at the 27. Officially, this will be a 45-yard field goal try from Tucker, right hash. He is trying to look around to get a block here from one of his receivers as he was running right, but there was no block to be had as he was running that drag route towards the right. It'll be a field goal try for Justin Tucker, 45 yards from the right hash. The snap is Nick Moore to hold is Jordan Stout. Snap, spot, kick, on the way. It is good. So some gas left in the tank, but how much longer for Justin Tucker? 9:29 left in the 3rd quarter. Owen and Luke Wilson on standby. Wow. Would you look at that flow? 17-13 Ravens. So, as we mentioned about final scores, the Lightning and Avalanche won official. So is the Capitals and Panthers. 4-1, Washington wins. And an explosion in the 3rd period for Washington. Not in terms of goal scoring, because the 2 other goals they scored were empty netters. But saving the day for the Caps was the goaltending. Empty netters from Lars Eller. And the first goal of the year for Ivan Miroshnichenko, who was called up with Alex Ovechkin out. Logan Thompson stopping 20 of 21. We did mention about the Blues win. The Devils hold off the Preds. 5-2 the final. And a big night for Nico Hischier. A natural hat trick in the 2nd period. Justin Dowling sealed it with an empty netter. A big win at home for the NJD. Vegas prevails in the shootout over the Flyers. Shootout winner scored by who else? Jack Eichel. The shot's 35-30 in favor of Philadelphia. Vegas gets the extra point. Eichel gets the shootout winner. Winning netminder for Vegas was Ilya Samsonov, who stopped 31 of 35. Ivan Fedotov stopped 26 of 30. The Red Wings, we spoke of them, Ian. They just beat the Islanders 4-2. So they get 2 crucial points in the standings. But in terms of total goals, they're up to 53 total. Moritz Seider, Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Simon Edvinsson have the Detroit goals. And the last one, before we get back into action, the Carolina Hurricanes entered the 3rd period trailing by 2. They scored 5 goals in the 3rd. The winning goal, Martin Necas, right after Miro Heiskanen tied it. Necas wins it with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the 3rd on the power play. And Andrei Svechnikov has sealed the deal with an empty netter. 17-13, have to get back underway from Inglewood. Just a drive away from the newly built Intuit Dome. It's got to feel good for comeback victories in the NHL, Ian. 5 goals in the 3rd period, special treat. 9:29 to go here in this third quarter. Baltimore up 17-13 off the Justin Tucker 45-yard field goal. First play is going to be a strong side I formation. As it was a motion man, as Herbert low dump off to the right side for Fisk. Fisk double slam down, and combining on the tackle were Ardarius Washington and Malik Harrison. Still going are the Flames and Senators. Senators lead the Flames 4-2. Yegor Sharangovich got the goal for Calgary, but Brady Tkachuk, his score for real this time. Once again, it's on a power play. It's 4-2 Ottawa. And the Jets lead the Wild 2-1. Tie-breaking goal from Nino Niederreiter, formerly of the Minnesota Wild, as wrapped up with one of the Chargers. I believe that went for a loss. That's a loss of 2. The former Raven, Gus Edwards, shut down by Harrison. 3rd and 5. As they get their big name guys onto the field, Johnston and McConkey. Ravens stack the box. Motioning left is Lad McConkey. 2 left and 2 right. And it's a shotgun set. Ravens send an extra rusher. Justin Herbert throws to the right side for Quentin Johnston. No, I mean Josh Palmer for the catch, and he has the first down. I keep mixing the two up because they have a single-digit number, but that is Palmer making a catch. Longest tenured Chargers receiver. 11 yards on that catch on the right sideline. It's insane to me how the Chargers, with an apparently bare-bones receiving core, are doing this good with McConkey and Johnston leading the way. Through the middle, this run, and powering through, I believe that was the third running back for the Chargers, Hassan Haskins, who ran for 2, maybe 3 yards. They'll say 3. I'm so used to seeing Dobbins and Edwards onto the field that rarely we see Haskins on the field. But that time, Hassan Haskins got a carry. Got some meaningful yards here. Even though it was 3 of them, can establish some momentum for him. For his future. Playing blocker as Herbert gets away. Gonna run on his own. Herbert flagged down. He is down across midfield. We will check this penalty. It'll be on Bradley Bozeman for holding. Hence, they're showing a highlight of Owen Wilson's game-clinching interception in the Tostitos Homecoming Party Bowl. Oh. Second and 17. Haskins still out there onto the field. Wind up at shotgun left of Herbert. Or Greg Roman's offensive unit. 3 left, 2 left and 2 right. Herbert. He will look for a collapsing pocket. Going back to retrieve it and catch it was Haskins, I think. Rager, actually. 9 yards. Didn't exactly get a good number of it. So I assumed it was Haskins who was put out wide, but it is a wideout. Jalen Rager. 3rd and 8. Will disc sweeping the safety valve for Justin Herbert. Haskins line up to the left of Herbert. Ravens trying to send on a blitz, and they are showing blitz as Rager motions to the left. Shotgun set. It is indeed a blitz. 3 rushers. Wiggins. Herbert gets away from him. Finds the open man. It is McConkey. It is a first down for the Chargers. 19 yards on that catch for Lad, the Rad Lad. Herbert gets away from Wiggins, the free rusher who came in unblocked. Nobody accounted for him, but nonetheless, as McConkey was able to get himself wide open into zone defense, this was a zone blitz. And McConkey able to get himself into the open spacing as Odafe Owe missed his assignment. Edwards was the motion man. Herbert will look. Herbert tried to split the gap. And the Ravens saw that one coming. Broderick Washington, the one stopping him at the line of scrimmage. Well, it was Josh Tupou who was called up from the practice squad ahead of this game. The Chargers made 3 practice squad call-ups. The Ravens won. That was Tupou. For the Chargers, Caleb Murphy. There was 2 practice squad call-ups. Caleb Murphy and Eli Apple. Dean Leonard was activated off the IR. He was designated for return. Herbert with Humphrey as the free rusher. Incomplete on the screen. As Marlon Humphrey, the free rusher. Excellent blitz dialed up by Zach Orr. 3rd-11. An all-out blitz. Rushers onto the left and the right side with Humphrey and Trenton Simpson surrounding Justin Herbert. And Gus Edwards had nowhere to go. Malik Harrison was all over him, shadowing him. That time it was a man coverage blitz. 3rd-11. Ravens showing man coverage. Herbert throws towards the right side, thrown away. Closest man was Rager. Nate Wiggins was in coverage. And the Ravens defense does its job. 4:12 to go. 3rd quarter. And Orr discussing with his guys as Cameron Dicker of a chance to make this a 1-point game again. He made from 42 and from 52. This one is going to be from further deep. Or actually, it's not from further deep. It will be left hash, 52 yards. On its way here. The kick. No doubt about it. 1-point game again. 17-16. And the Kraken and the Ducks have started play. More final scores were on the way in the NBA. 3 more of such. The Detroit Pistons outlasted the Toronto Raptors 102-100. Jaden Ivey had the winning basket in this game. He finished with 25 points, 8 assists. Jalen Duren, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks in the absence of Kate Cunningham. And that to outlast Scotty Barnes' 31-point game with 14 rebounds and 7 assists. So if you had him on fantasy basketball, you got treated to yourself a good one. And this one was a buzzer beater by Ivy from 8 feet out. After official review, they confirmed the buzzer beater from Ivy. Those are the best kinds of buckets that anyone can get. The second one they want to point out, the Dallas Mavericks and the Atlanta Hawks. And the Mavericks, despite not having Luka Doncic, they found a way to win. They pulled out a win in the 4th quarter after surviving a 24-point comeback attempt by the Denver Nuggets in NBA Cup action. They got the job done here tonight against the Hawks, 129-119, and none other than Kyrie Irving to lead the way. 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. PJ Washington, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Derek Lively, 2 blocks. Daniel Gafford, 2 blocks. Spencer Dinwiddie with 22 off the bench, 23 points for Jaden Hardy. And this is in the absence of Klay Thompson as well. Atlanta, on the other hand, got 28 from Jalen Johnson, 11 points to go with it. Trae Young with 18 points, 16 assists, and 3 steals. Johnson added 3 steals of his own as well. Bogdan Bogdanovic with 18 points. And their last final score being the Boston Celtics blowing the Los Angeles Clippers out of the water. Balanced scoring all around has been the name of the game, as he got 5 players on the Celtics with at least 15 points. 20 each for Jason Tatum and Peyton Pritchard. 19 for Derek White with 7 assists. 17 for Jaylen Brown on 6 of 11 shooting with 6 rebounds and 3 steals. 16 for Kristaps Porzingis. Welcome back, by the way, with 6 rebounds and 2 blocks. Tatum added 9 rebounds and 2 blocks. Pritchard went 6 of 10 from 3. One of the best sharpshooters on the Celtics. So, back here, after the return by the Ravens all the way to the 30, it's actually a touchback with 4:08 to go here in the third. There was no return. Motion man to the right as Lamar Jackson tries to get away from Tierra Tart. Jackson, a dart through the middle. And sliding, rolling through was Charlie Kolar to make the catch. Just the absolute creativity of this man to get away from the approaching a free rusher, Tierra Tart, and faked him out. That's like you're playing NFL street ball.
But the question is, how the heck? Somebody missed their assignment because, damn.
I mean, Kolar really got wide open through the middle. Let's be honest there. I mean, I don't believe it was his own defense, but somebody clearly got open. Further one after this rush by Henry. And Lamar Jackson trying to get to be out the rush on the edge. He did not get the first down. The Chargers stuff him on 3rd and 1. Now force a 4th and 1. And a very crucial decision here from John Harbaugh. Do you go for it or do you try to draw the Chargers offside?
Nope, they're going right to Henry.
I would believe it's a smart and logical choice, but the Chargers trying to counter. Derrick Henry, no doubt, Henry still rolling. Henry inside the 40, to the 35, he's down at the 34 in Charger territory. The king has spoken. All 27 yards of such. They rushed the Chargers defense and it bit them. And when I say when it bit them, it bit the Charger defense. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Off the 27-yard run by King Henry. Strong eye set here for Baltimore. Henry again. Or this is Hill. This time, Laundry comes in. 3 yards on the run, pending the penalty. Carl Jeffers' crew huddling to discuss and deliberate. I guess they're making a little parody of the sheriff right in front of his saloon over at the U of Tennessee. 151 after the third quarter is there. Getting this under review. This review is taking a lengthy time. What was it?
Oh, nothing. I thought Derrick Henry's run got called back, but it was the next play.
It was Hill. The penalty was on McCurry. Now here's Lamar Jackson, 1st and 19. He finds Tylan Wallace, the speedster. Wrestled down. It'll be 2nd and 4, 15 yards on the catch for Wallace. So Wallace being their return man, the primary return man, given that Deontay Hardy is on the IR. As Wallace, he went around the rookie Tar Heap Still, rookie out of Maryland, and a native of Sicklerville, New Jersey. Cam Hart out for tonight with a concussion and an ankle injury. So 2 injuries for Hart. He's their rookie. Here's their other starting rookie. Still is filling his place though. Here's Henry. Munched up at the line of scrimmage. Pona Ford. So Fulton normally is the primary starting corner as a CB1, given the absence of Asante Samuel Jr. Samuel on the IR with Junior Colson. Linebacker core consisting of Deion Henley and Troy Dye. Injuries to Denzel Perryman and Colson. Motioning is Flowers. Play fake. Here's Jackson on the keep. Dump off for the left. Zay Flowers trying to reach the ball. That was Bateman. Now, was he down by contact? I think he was. They'll say fourth down. They will have to look if Bateman reached out to get the first down and if he fully extended his arm out to get it, which I believe he did not.
No, on further review, his knee was down before he reached the ball out.
That was the last play of the third quarter. That will take us to the fourth quarter. Stepping aside for the moment, no score between Seattle and Anaheim. LA and San Jose set to start in about 14 minutes. So, looking around for the rest of the NBA, Grizzlies and Trailblazers may be all but over. Memphis leading Portland by 24 points late in the fourth quarter. The Knicks lead the Nuggets 76-53. And take this from me, even though the Nuggets, they blew out the Lakers out the water, this year's Nuggets are a frustrating team to watch. In the most literal sense, because I hate when coaches decide to use the let him cook offense. That's what the Nuggets are doing with Nikola Jokic at most of the time this season. And outside of the Lakers game, most of their games have been not literal heart attacks, but figurative heart attacks. Against the Raptors, that was the definition of a heart attack game. Yes, the Raptors lost that one, but the Nuggets were in a duel with the Raptors, which is not ideal for a team that just recently won a championship. I don't like the let him cook offense because you're just revolving the offense around one man. You have to make sure that everyone eats. And for some time in the game in which I covered the Nuggets when they faced the Mavericks, in their comeback attempt, it looked like they were going with the everybody eats offense. Michael Porter Jr., 11 points in the third. Russell Westbrook was hitting threes in the fourth quarter. Peyton Watson was also driving the Nuggets to a comeback. So why, when they had the lead, why did they decide to go back to the let him cook offense? That is beyond me if I'm Michael Malone and the Nuggets coaching staff. Now, to be fair, Jokic is a machine, but if you're going to have the offense revolve around only him, that's a recipe for failure.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I don't know. You have a player like Jokic, and it's just him out there. It seems. I mean, where's Jamal Murray? You know.
Well, as the Ravens get the first down off the fourth down rush, yeah, you gotta wonder. Jamal Murray this year has been alarmingly inconsistent. At the best, he is a sharp number 2 option, but this year, the number 2 option has been more Michael Porter Jr., who's having the season of his life.
Good for him. So seriously, good for the kid.
Mizzou product. Screen for Flowers for the right. Block set up by Bateman. Flowers gets about 4 yards. A good executed screen there as Bateman set up the block for Flowers right in front. But to have MPJ get a breakout out year like this, you gotta feel happy for the Mizzou product.
Oh, yeah. Especially because he didn't have a college season.
2nd and 6 as the Ravens are inside the red zone. They'll give it to Henry. Henry powering through at the edge of end goal territory. He got the first down. They might spot this 1st and goal. So in terms of future broadcasts, I do know that tomorrow I'll be covering the Lakers and Suns. I do have Thanksgiving plans on Wednesday and Thursday. So Friday will be the Timberwolves and the Clippers. Don't know what I'm doing on Sunday. Henry, slowed down once, twice, 4 yards on the rush. So Sunday, it all depends on the time slot and the coverage map. I'll have to take a look at that because I may lean towards Steelers and Bengals if that opportunity is presented. Second and goal here. Ravens trying to cap off this drive with 6 and get an 8-point lead. Lamar Jackson forced backwards by James, now running to his left, chased by Ford. Jackson to the end zone. Is it caught? No! One foot was out of bounds. Zay Flowers, the intended man. Third and goal. Well, technically speaking, it was caught, but because Flowers had 1 foot out of bounds, well, no, it was knocked away. I meant knocked away by Molden. I thought it was Flowers catching it. Well, a good fake out there from Molden, I'll admit, on my part. One receiver to the left. You have 3 receivers to the right. Flowers motions in a trips formation. Shotgun set. Chargers blitz. Lamar for the middle. Jumping up for the catch. Mark Andrews, incomplete. Almost had it. Now, was there movement on the ball beforehand? This will have to be a closer look. Did Mark Andrews secure it? And were both feet in bounds. One official signals touchdown. We'll have to take a look at this. It is a touchdown. We'll have to see the replay. Well, the Wilson brothers got a prediction right. They signaled touchdown. Initially was an incomplete pass, but Mark Andrews caught it, inbounds, secured it, no movement. On the Ravens, they're going bold, and they're going for 2. Go bold or go home. Andrews motions left. Lamar Jackson on the run. Trying to find someone in the back of the end zone. Bobbled up on the tip. Incomplete as this ball sails out of bounds. So instead of a 9-point game, it's a 7-point game. So Andrews secured it inbounds off the leaping grab. Had it all the way. No challenge from Jim Harbaugh. Both feet in bounds. And the Ravens were trying to say, yes, our feet are in bounds. And they got the call right. All right. So looking at the Winnipeg game, they are now up 3-1 on Minnesota. Neil Pionk on the power play makes it 3-1. And the Kraken have scored. That is thanks to Shane Wright. Needs to get his footing right. No pun intended, but something to get his confidence up. Anything to get his confidence up. Because the kid looks shaken. So,
all right, while we're on the commercial break, a few quick updates. The Senators look to be closing out against the Flames 4-2. The Jets lead the Wild 3-1. And the Kraken have taken a lead on the Anaheim Ducks 1-0.
yeah, Calgary scored, by the way. They have 40 seconds left, though. If they were to tie this game up and do the impossible. Nazem Kadri with the goal. They'll have to once again go 6-on-5.
They did just score. How about that? Grizzlies going away Um, 1 minute, a minute and a half left. 123 to 95. No chance for a comeback. The Knicks trouncing the Nuggets, 82-56, and currently underway. Nets Warriors knotted at 20 for now. And the OKC Thunder with a 2-point lead on the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, those two games between Nets and Warriors, Kings and Thunder, it's early. The Thunder without Chet Holmgren, they seem to be doing nicely. So as we get back into action, Ravens lead 23-16. They went for two. Go bold or go home. Bo, Zay Flowers had to go off his hands. 23-16. So the Manning cast going to break as Justin Herbert and the Chargers trying to tie this game up. So, that was quick. So far, the Grizzlies Trailblazers game is final. 123-98. Memphis with the win. And leading the way is Jaren Jackson Jr. 21 points, 6 rebounds. And Ja Morant in his first game back with 22 points, 11 assists. Off the bench, Santi Aldama with 13 with 17 rebounds. A game high in rebounds, which is more than doubling the next closest, which is almost doubling the next closest highest rebounder. Brandon Clark was 9 with 11 points. 12 points for Jay Huff and 11 for Luke Kennard. For Portland, 17 off the bench for Denny Avdia with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. 15 for Shaedon Sharpe. Anthony Simons, a very dismal 2 of 14 shooting. Just 5 points of result. Sharpe, 4 of 12. Did not fare any better. Very inefficient shooting nights for the starters. Jeremy Grant, 11 points, 3 of 10. Tumani Kamara, 10 points, 4 of 15. 8 rebounds. Very hollow 8 rebounds. And it's official. Ottawa wins 4-3. They're able to hold off Calgary despite a comeback attempt. Dustin Wolf, 25 of 29. And a winning goaltender, Anton Forsberg, 24 of 27. It's crazy to think that even though they're on different teams now, both Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark are struggling mightily. So, the Manning Bowl, so as we saw in the past, in the showdowns between Peyton and Eli Manning, Peyton has won each one of them, but Eli thrived in the big game, the Super Bowl. He was able to upset he and the Giants were able to upset Tom Brady's Patriots twice.
Yep.
Memorable finishes as well. From the helmet catch, Plaxico Burress' go-ahead touchdown, Mario Manningham's sideline catch, and even the reluctant touchdown from Ahmad Bradshaw as we have a first play sack here. Or actually a first play de facto sack as Gus Edwards was swallowed up by Kyle Hamilton. Justin Herbert could not get away from Tavius Robinson. Shotgun set. There was a motion man to the left. That was Ladd McConkey. Play fake for Edwards. Here's Herbert. Queen pocket. A dart for the middle. Safety foul. Diswee. Diswee gets shy at the 35. It'll be 3rd and 6. 11 yards on that catch and run for Will Diswee. Tre'Davious White, who was acquired from the Los Angeles Rams, the tackle. One of the cap casualties for the Buffalo Bills last year, alongside Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. Hyde remains a free agent. Poyer's now with the Miami Dolphins. In Buffalo went with youth movement. At the linebacker core with Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano and Dorian Williams. Palmer was the motion man right. Harbaugh looks on 3rd and 6. Pump fakes once. Now fires it for the right side. Contested catch. Knocked out of his hands. And 2 flags come in. Tre'Davious White may have pass interference against him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ooh, I want your opinion on this, Alec.
Yeah, the ball did look catchable at one part, but White did get some contact up front on White at the first area. So, but these are offsetting pass interference. But what offsets the pass interference penalty is that Trey Pipkins held on the play. We will repeat 3rd and 6. So, whatever I say on this pass interference is going to be moot anyways. But I felt this was very, very borderline. I'm not sure if this was, but Tre'Davious White never turned his head. He did turn it once, but by the time he turned back towards Palmer, the ball was about to be caught by Palmer. But I don't see the hold. It was a phantom call. 5-man rush by the Ravens. Herbert. And another drop. That's been an issue for Quentin Johnston last year. Issues coming back this year. He had that one. And he had a first down. Man-to-man coverage. Running a drag route. Simply inexcusable.
Stonehenge Johnston.
Oh my goodness.
Such good words. Such a good seasoned young man.
I mean, he's the and what's the ironic part is that he's their second leading receiver in terms of receiving yards. Right behind, none other than Ladd McConkey, as J.K. Scott gets this one off. Are the Ravens not returning this? No, there won't be a chance to return this anyway. The ball bounces towards the Chargers sideline. And with 10:45 to go in the 4th quarter, it'll be Ravens ball. It will go to break.
Hands. Alex, what happened to his hands?
Oh my goodness. What happened to his hands? It's just no sugarcoating it. I just. What in the world is happening? All right, reestablishing connections.
Yes, sir. For some reason, this keeps cutting out.
No problem. We're able to get you back in, but that Quentin Johnston, so polarizing.
Oh,
just frustrates.
I forget. Was he? Who was picked after him? Was that Zay Flowers?
If I go back up to the draft, it was a string of, I believe, 4 straight wide receivers. But Johnston was picked because of his pedigree over at TCU with Max Duggan. But if we look at this, first was Jackson Smith-Njigba. Then, right after Johnston, not only Zay Flowers, try also Jordan Addison. And that's gotta hurt for Charger fans.
Yeah.
Now, the Lad McConkey selection can make up for it, but still, that Johnston pick is painful. It is 1-1, by the way, between the Kraken and Ducks. Trevor Zegras has tied it. Troy Terry and Brian Dumoulin get the apples. As we go on, as we go on to further in the fourth quarter, Lamar Jackson on a play fake to Derrick Henry. A bullet to the middle for Andrews. Stopped shy at the first down marker by Derwin James. 2nd and 1. Here at SoFi Stadium, they have hosted a Super Bowl. That was Super Bowl 56, the year which the Rams won it all. Matthew Stafford finally got his ring that year. So did Aaron Donald. Donald retired 2 years later. That was last season. The Rams there are in an interesting situation defensively because their defense is young, but it shows promise between Byron Young and Jared Verse. Here's Henry. The Chargers gang up on him. They do not allow first down. He'll be third and very short.
Okay, so you go back to Henry, or do you try and
Probably do you go to Henry or do you do a read option play? From the looks of it, it may look like a running play at first glance. They're sending extra guys onto the line of scrimmage. It is a handoff to Henry. Henry trying to go outside. Stiff arms 2 guys and does have the first down. Do not get in his path. He will devour you. That stiff arm is always a work of art. This time, the inside was closed off, so he switched things up, goes to the outside. That's what makes him special as a true bell cow running back. 8:50 to go here in regulation. Shotgun set. Jackson will keep it. 4 yards. It was going out in front, and Mike Vrabel being the guest for the Manning cast. He was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans from 2018 to 2023. He coached Derrick Henry, so he is very familiar with him. 2 yards for Jackson. It'll be 2nd and 8. Henry's on the sideline here. They're going to bring in Justice Hill, who they have utilized as RB2. Want to wonder when Keaton Mitchell gets some reps. He was activated off the PUP. Lamar Jackson with a right on a bullet. And the catch made off the right side. And his guy, Jose Flowers, 5 yards before Troy Dye made the stop 3rd and 3. See what Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter cook up. Defensively for the Chargers. The Ravens, they're going steadfast here offensively as they're methodically taking what the Chargers defense gives them. An efficient offense against the top scoring defense. Justice Hill to the left, speeding down for the left side. He has all sorts of daylight out of him. Can he beat out Dye? Can he beat out Molden? He does! Touchdown Ravens!
Wow.
On 3rd and 3, outside run left in an area which has not been explored around by most standards, but Justice Hill able to get to the outside left to beat out Nick Neiman, who was the approaching linebacker, and around his Charger defense, beating out both Troy Dye and Elijah Molden to the end zone. And the celebrations commencing at the Ravens sideline. Chargers down 2 scores. Ravens have a chance to go up 30-16 as the helmets start to be taken off. Ronnie Stanley, give me some to Justice Hill. So, what is it going to be? Is it going to be a 2-point conversion, or is it going to be an extra point try?
If they're smart, they go for the extra point.
Yep, I would believe they're going for the extra point. Whoa, the holdup was actually not because of the extra point or the 2-point conversion. It was because of an injured Charger on the field, Aloy Gilman walking off under his own power. So, indeed, Ian, they're going to kick the extra point to go up by 14. So they are playing this smart. Will be a straightaway kick. To Tucker. Will kick it. Perfect. 14-point lead for the Ravens in the Harbaugh Bowl. 7:24 to go in regulation. Justice Hill of a career-long 51-yard rush, and he took it to the house. Just still going are the Knicks and Nuggets. Knicks leading by 20, 101-81, late in the third quarter. Game basically all but sealed unless the Nuggets pull off the improbable. And that happened last year when the Sacramento Kings blew a 20-point lead with 8 minutes left in their game against the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, the number 19 was raised to the rafters at SAP Center. Jumbo Joe Fortune gets his number retired by the Sharks. And a well-deserved honor at San Jose, given he was one of the top players in franchise history. Later on, you would expect that Patrick Marleau would get his number retired by the Sharks. I would anticipate he will be the next one. And then after that, Joe Pavelski getting his number retired. So they do have Black Friday football between the Chiefs and the Raiders. Well, I must say the Raiders season is going on a downward spiral every passing minute. And honestly, as I evaluate the Chiefs game against the Panthers, I'll have to say the Panthers did put up a fight, but I want to imagine, are the Chiefs playing with fire?
Here's the thing, right? I mean, if you really look, okay, they're winning one-score games, but I'm gonna be real, Alec. This was different. Oh wait, this was different. You know, they got the win, but they were pissed afterwards. I'll explain in detail in a little bit.
What a return here for Darius Davis as he takes this back to the 45. It'll be a first down for the Chargers at their own 45-yard line, but what the officials, he shoved Mike Vrabel out the way back in the day. But we can get a further explanation of the Chiefs. Well, I know they were not happy after the win against the Panthers, even though the Panthers, they did get back-to-back wins on the year against the Saints and the Giants. The Panthers, they did get some confidence for Bryce Young and his future. Justin Herbert, one of the Ravens rushers got smacked. And an adjustment and a catch by Wad McConkey on Marlon Humphrey. Now, what is the flag going to be? Who was the one committing the pass interference? Darius Davis got a 46-yard return initially with Justin Tucker making the tackle. We'll have to see who was the one interfering.
It's the defender. Just from the replay.
Marlon Humphrey and the Chargers are wisely declining the penalty because of the McConkey catch. I don't mean for the alliteration here, but on a double move right on the Humphrey, and then shifting over to the right as Humphrey, he was getting his arms right on McConkey. He was making a sideline catch. Now the officials are deliberating whether it actually was a pass interference or not. Showing some old Peyton Manning highlights when he was going up against the New England Patriots. I mean, it's always sharp no matter who he played it against. Didn't look like that to start off. Now on the first down, here's Herbert in Raven territory, airing it down for the right side. Not catchable for Palmer. Never turn his head around. It'll be second down. Went one-on-one Nate Wiggins, the rookie out of Clemson. And he basically made a business decision, not catching that. Seven minutes and 5 seconds to go here in regulation. Chargers need 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points to tie this game up. Herbert looks. Collapsing pocket. Oh, he gets slammed down and a flag comes in. Kyle Van Noy brought him to the earth.
I can tell you this, it's not a penalty on Van Noy. The flag came out before he made the tackle.
And it was clearly for a hold on Rashawn Slater. I don't think it's going to matter as the Ravens are going to decline the penalty. Slater called for it a hold at the left tackle side. And what we can assure you is that the body weight rule need not come here. 3rd and 18, which is the equivalent of the penalty, but also for the loss of a down. 4-man rush. Herbert stepping up several times. Airing is to the left. To the end zone. Flag comes in. Brandon Stevens interfered with Palmer.
No. I'm sorry. That ball was nowhere near catchable. That's not pass interference. That ball was airmailed.
Jeffers is going to deliberate with this crew. Jim Harbaugh trying to call for the pass interference to be enforced. John does not want this one. And Carl Jeffers has wiped off the penalty. That ball was not catchable. And Jeffers' crew corrected their mistake. It is not a defensive pass interference. 4th down. You were right, Ian. The ball was airmailed. It was not a catchable spot for Palmer. Herbert overthrew his man. And because of the current scoreline, the Chargers have no choice but to go for it on 4th and 18. They'll need, 18 yards to get the first down, or actually they're going to punt it. They'll send this one off. And this will bounce inside the 10. And will be downed at around the 8-yard line by Jasir Taylor. 36 in navy blue. Much of the discussion was of the Brandon Stevens pass interference that was later retracted because there was no catch to be made by Josh Palmer. So currently at the break, Ravens leading 30-16.
So, to continue what I was saying earlier, the Chiefs players, they were mad at themselves, man. I mean, the defense was hanging their heads in shame despite a young kicker getting a game-winning field goal. Nobody was celebrating. I mean, Andy Reid had to be the one to step in and say, look, winning in this league is hard. So, so go ahead and pick your heads up. You got the win. You did, you're 10-1. Nothing is given. But he had to be the one to say that. Because everyone's trying to say that this is going to end up like the Eagles last season when they started 10-1. No. Or like the Steelers when they were
11-0.
Or in 2017 when they finished the season 13-3. No. And here's the big difference. You don't see any arrogance, right? They won the game against the Panthers, but they were mad at themselves. They didn't want to win that way.
You got to refocus and regroup and get yourselves ready for each game one at a time. And that includes the Black Friday game against Las Vegas. But there's got to be more of an effort here. And Andy Reid is right. Winning is indeed hard. But you got to get everything right on all aspects. 6:31 to go here in the fourth as it's first down for the Ravens. To get right back into action, hand off for the left for Henry. Henry carrying several defenders onto him. He gets 5 yards. How does he manage to do this? He grounds and pounds the ball, and he also at the same time at times carries several defenders with him. Six minutes to go. A little update from San Jose. Nico Sturm from Mario Ferraro and Yaroslav Askarov. On the first goal of the game at the SAP Center, 2nd and 5 here for Baltimore as Isaiah Likely is the one motioning left. Strong weak side I formation. It'll be a handoff inside for Henry. Goes to the left. Henry spins around. He is close to a first down. I don't know if he got there. Oh. And then we have a little Photoshop edit of Lamar Jackson with Mike Vrabel. Further one here at SoFi. Everyone huddling up as Charlie Kolar, the third tight end, is out there for the sequence. 5:10 to go here in the fourth. It's Todd Monken looking to get his guys the win here at LA. I set Ricard the fullback. One wide receiver out there onto the field. It is Henry. It is a first down. And he runs this for 5 yards. Methodical football being displayed in this drive. All rushes to begin. 3 straight. 6 yards before the stop by Nick Neiman. Kraken and Ducks are at the end of one, tied at 1. 4:28 to go here in the fourth. As the Ravens are trying to put this game away. They're up by 2 touchdowns, 30-16 still. More audibles, I think. And Lamar Jackson gets set on a single back. Did not call timeouts. Henry rumbles to the 30. Call it 6 yards, maybe 7. Well, it's more the lines of 6.5. As there'll be 2nd and 3.5 as Derrick Henry is playing bumper cars. 2.4 rushing yards per game after contact, which is the highest in the league since he first entered. In his career, he has amassed 5,255 yards after contact. The most ever since he entered the league in that same span. And he is on the sidelines after being a workhorse. Kolar motions left. I set. Hill is the running back. Ricard the fullback. Hill gets it. Hill. Flag comes in. I think it's a hold. Discipline. That needs to matter. They're going to call it on their center, Tyler Linderbaum, one of their least penalized guys on the year. So very rarely do you see him getting penalties, as he is one of the best centers in the game. So instead of a third and very short, it'll be a 2nd and 14. I think the Ravens are trying to run out the rest of the clock. So I think they're going to go with all rushing plays from here on out. 2 tight ends on the set. And 2 wideouts. Jackson gets the audible. And it'll be a pistol set for the Ravens. Design run here for Lamar. Evading several defenders, but the reinforcements quickly come in. Nick Neiman, the first one there. And with 3:18 left, we have a timeout. It appears it will be the Chargers the ones calling the timeouts, and they are, as Justin Herbert is starting the play sheet at the sideline. 3rd and 13. So post-snap penalties need to be addressed. And so far in this game, Lamar Jackson, 16-22, 177 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. We look at the daily Derrick Henry stat tracker. He is up to 140 rushing yards on the night. Lamar Jackson has a rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns. Justice Hill, 3 carries, 57 yards. He's been primarily used as a 3rd down back. Nelson Aguilar split out wide left after the timeout. Lamar is getting his guys set up straight. Eyes set. I believe this will be a running play. It is. Hill intending to run out some more clock. That was the intention from the Ravens. And the Chargers used their 2nd timeout. So that's to save more clock for Justin Herbert to pull out a miracle. They need 2 touchdowns. Oh. Jim Harbaugh trying to get the Chargers a statement victory here on the Harbaugh Bowl. As unlikely as it may seem. In the 4th quarter, it appears the Knicks are going to run away with this at Denver. 4th and 15, the punt from Jordan Stout on the way. Back deep is Darius Davis. Davis calls for the fair catch. Just as Dean Leonard got shoved on the special teams. So if you remember one time when Mike Vrabel got a sack on Peyton Manning in 1996 in the Citrus Bowl that year. These two would go on to, and so Vrabel will go on to be a linebacker with the Patriots. And he even lined up in some tight end sets with them, catching touchdown passes from Tom Brady. .803 left in the first period between the Kings and the Sharks, but it appears it may be all but over for the Nuggets' chances of a comeback. At halftime, the Thunder and the Kings are separated by just 1 point, 63-62 at halftime, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the way, 18 points, 6 assists. Isaiah Hartenstein with 8 points. Jalen Williams with 11 points. Aaron Wiggins with 6. And 8 points for Kenrick Williams. On the other side, you have 19 for DeMar DeRozan with 4 assists. Domantas Sabonis with 13 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. The same amount of steals for Keegan Murray. De'Aaron Fox with just 7 points, but it may be just a matter of time until he turns on the Jets and goes on a heater. Warriors lead the Nets 53-47 late in the second quarter. Cam Thomas leads the way for Brooklyn. Lindy Waters leads the way for Golden State with 10 points. Steph Curry is 9. Buddy Hield is 9. Waters inserted into the starting 5 after the injury to DeAnthony Melton, which is Melton's sideline for the rest of the season. So do remember that NBA Cup is tomorrow. It'll be the Lakers and the Suns. The main event at Footprint Center. Other NBA Cup games in action are 4 other games. 7 o'clock, Bulls and Wizards. 7:30, Bucks and Heat. 8 o'clock, Rockets and Timberwolves. 9 o'clock, Spurs and Jazz. Lakers and Suns being the nightcap game at 10 p.m. All times are in Eastern Time. So, immediately when we come back, there is a flag down, 3:03 left. That was because Odafe Owe, despite sacking Justin Herbert, was offside, so it'll be a free play. First and 5 here with 3:03 left to go. Chargers in the need for a miracle. Bradley Bozeman to center. Shotgun set with 3 receivers to the left. Herbert faces a 4-man rush. Herbert throws a bullet to the right. And that went off the hands of Johnston. Again. Nate Wiggins was defending. 2:58 left to go. It'll be a 2nd and 5. 2 left and 2 right. Ravens send 4 again. Herbert, clean pocket, to the left, caught, and in and out. Once again, Johnston. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back drops, but this time it was Tre'Davious White with the contact. 3rd and 5. Now Johnston could not hang on to the ball, could not survive the contact from Trey White. Hassan Haskins comes in as the running back. 3 left and 1 right. Ravens blitz this time. Herbert's rushed. Herbert's got to hurry. They got him! Brandon Stevens on the blitz for Baltimore to sack Herbert on 3rd down. It'll be a crucial 4th and 9. They're taking a lot of time here. When they're huddling up, they're taking way too long on this next play. They gotta get it off if they're going to try a comeback. Jalen Reagor motions from his left spot. 4th and 9, 4-man rush again. Herbert looking for the right side, got his man. Wed McConkey. 2-minute warning here in the 4th quarter. So it's Kyle Van Noy. Was one of the guys who was right on Justin Herbert on 3rd down. Herbert prevails on 4th down, finding his number 1 guy, Lad the Rad Lad. We're in a 2-minute warning here, 4th quarter of action in the Harbaugh Bowl. So the primetime games in NBA Cup action, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat at American Airlines Arena, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns at the Footprint Center. So 5 games on the slate tomorrow. And the Warriors now expanding their lead to 12 points on the net, 62-50. In the meantime, it is still 1-1 Kraken and Ducks, 1-0 Sharks and Kings. Despite the improvement Matt Nyes has been placed on IR on Friday because of the upper body injury that he suffered when taking a hit up high from Zach Whitecloud. Fell hard onto the ice. Nyes left immediately, hasn't practiced since. The officials deemed it a clean hit, though Whitecloud got into a subsequent scuffle, as it looked like that hit was up high and a hit to the head on Nyes. And some of the recent updates around. So the NHL has explained in how Zach Whitecloud did not get a penalty on the play. So the Department of Player Safety released a video covering 3 recent hits involving contact with opponent's head. The one by Whitecloud and 2 that resulted in suspensions. Player Safety rarely addresses hits that don't result in supplemental discipline. The last explainer video is believed to have been released in 2018. But Whitecloud's hit on Nyes was a point of controversy in the media and among Leafs players as well. So, explanation in just a bit. 2 minutes to go here. Shotgun set for the Chargers. Haskins to the right. Harbaugh on a deep drop back. Steps in front. And that was broken up by Marlon Humphrey. Intended man was Josh Palmer. So as for the Whitecloud hit, Whitecloud skates left the ice on contact. The hit was reviewed. He determined it award a major penalty. Whitecloud was given a major penalty for roughing. Whitecloud was given a minor for roughing. Simon Benoit a double minor for roughing. So the player safety video reiterated the 2 standards that need to be met for a violation. The head was the main point of contact and the head contact was avoidable. Back to that in a bit as Haskins to the right of Herbert. 3 left and 1 right as Herbert looks on second down. Herbert backpedals. Chased by Owe. Flag down. Herbert running to his left. Shakes off of one guy. Herbert runs for the first down. And he runs out of bounds with 1:44. Now we have to check the penalty. Jim Harbaugh calling for a face mask on the Ravens. It's going to be on the Chargers. And Harbaugh is in disbelief. A hold on Joe Alt. And it looked like a tug on Odafe Owe. Rookie mistake for Alt. Now it's 2nd and 20. Hayden Hurst, the tight end to the left of Rashawn Slater. 3 receivers left, 1 receiver right. On a shotgun set again. 2nd and 20. Herbert drops back. Herbert for the left. Finds his man, Will Dissly. I meant to say Dissly, not Hayden Hurst. 1:38 to play. So the video contrasted a Whitecloud hit with checks that earned Ryan Reeves and Tanner Janot's suspensions for making contact with the head. Player safety said there was inarguably head contact by Whitecloud, but that his hit went through the body of Nyes rather than making the head the main point of contact, as Reeves did on Darnell Nurse and Janot did on Brock Besser. Whitecloud took a good angle approach on Nyes, didn't elevate excessively or necessarily towards the head. Empty set here for the Chargers. And there's a timeout called here with 1:38 on 3rd and 11. It'll be the Ravens calling timeout. So, to explain it, player safety said, Whitecloud, so Rule 48 said, as they said, quote, we see Nyes' entire body stopped in his tracks and driven backwards simultaneously with his hand in a way that indicates the body absorbed the force of check, said the Department of Player Safety, adding that Whitecloud's hit was legal within the framework. This means the head contact was considered unavoidable on a play where the hitter is otherwise throwing a legal full body check. Craig Berube said that Nyes was doing not bad, was still being evaluated by team physicians, but he is feeling okay, which is good news, but he is on the IR. Sports hit by Whitecloud, Berube defended its legality. So he did say it's a hockey hit, a clean hit, a tough play, and he's in a vulnerable position. 3-11, 3 right and 1 left. Herbert, quick throw to McConkey. McConkey down at the Raven 40, and they'll have to go in the hurry up. 4th down here, and a timeout here by Jim Harbaugh. 4th and 6 with 1:29 to go in the fourth quarter as Jim Harbaugh takes his final timeout. Says it was a judgment call, but I was initially criticizing why that was not a penalty, but the Department of Player Safety said that White Cloud took a good angle approach, that he didn't excessively or unnecessarily pick the head when leaving his skates. Head contact when White Cloud left the skates was not avoidable because Nice put himself in a position that Nice was unfortunately in an unfortunate situation, and the head contact was unavoidable. Herbert on 4th and 6. Herbert for the middle, sails right by Josh Palmer. Another flag comes in as Humphrey wrapped him up. We don't know where the flag is, but John Harbaugh is shaking his head. Some of the Ravens are in disbelief. Pass interference on Humphrey. It was a catchable ball that time around. Palmer was in a position where he could make a grab, but Humphrey interfered with the contact and adjusted Palmer's catching angle, so that was pass interference. Shotgun set, a free first down for the Chargers. Herbert will step up, take off himself. Herbert for the left. Herbert tackled in bounds. Now they have to rush to the line of scrimmage. Immediately he gets the ball to the official. 108, 107, 106. They need to snap it. They need to snap it here. They got it off with 101. 1 minute to go. Herbert to the end zone. Tipped up, incomplete. J1 Harbaugh Davis, 1-on-1 with Josh Palmer, broke it up with 58 seconds to go as it was tipped out of bounds. Little jump off as Armour Davis got a hand right onto the ball, played it perfectly, never turned his back towards the ball. He was focused the entire way. Chargers need 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 10, here's Herbert. Throwing towards the left side, incomplete. Intended man was Johnston, but that was not towards Johnston's catchable range. How did Justin Herbert? So Justin Herbert was able to hang up high as he was getting simultaneously tackled by both Chris Board and Trey White. 3rd down, Chargers need to have it. And by need to have it, I mean 6 points. And not the first down. Not just the first down. Play clock winding down to 2. Herbert will look towards the end zone. Fires a bullet off the hand of Palmer. Chargers down to their last breath. A flag is down, however. We just can't get enough of these East towels. It's a defensive penalty. And what do you know? Another defensive pass interference penalty as Josh Palmer was targeted yet again. This time, J1 Armour Davis, who broke up the pass last time around, he gets called for it. 1st and goal for the 1. Hand off, up for the middle, touchdown. It's not over yet. It is Gus Edwards pounding it in from 1 yard out. And the Chargers within 8. They're within 1 score. They'll get the special teams unit out. 40 extra point Cameron Dicker to kick it. So one part is done. If they need to pull off a miraculous comeback attempt to force overtime, just unlikely. 46 seconds is on the clock. And oh my goodness, they're not going to get this one off. It's going to be delay of game. The ball will be spotted at the 20 for the extra point try. Score is 30-22. Baltimore over Los Angeles. Dicker trying to make it a one-score game. It was previously 30-16. 46 seconds remain here in regulation as Dicker is going to get the second part done here. Third part is the onside kick. Kick is up. And it's good. Now, you have to prep yourself up for the onside kick. Not often do you recover onside kicks, but it certainly is possible. As what the Chicago Bears did against the Minnesota Vikings, despite the fact that Chicago lost that game, but they did recover the onside kick, which was crucial to kicking the game-time field goal from Cairo Santos. So you look further through here. And Derrick Henry with yet another masterclass in this game. Lamar Jackson didn't have to do a lot, but he was efficient. And whether or not running backs do get into MVP conversation, the two lead candidates and such would be, if running backs were included, would be Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. So here's the onside kick. It will be recovered by Baltimore. That should about do it. Isaiah Likely has it. And Lamar Jackson can take 2 kneel downs. So just like Super Bowl XLVII, John Harbaugh will defeat Jim Harbaugh, and the Ravens will get the victory as the designated visiting team. Just like Super Bowl XLVII, difference here is that it's a completely different era. John Harbaugh has been the coach for as long as people can remember in Baltimore. Here's the first kneel down, and so they'll have to get one more kneel down as fans are already exiting SoFi Stadium. So, once again, tomorrow, it'll be the Lakers and the Suns in NBA Cup action. 20 seconds to go here officially, but this last kneel down will ensure the victory for the Ravens, in which Lamar does it. And that is all. The Baltimore Ravens get the victory here at Los Angeles, 30-23. John Harbaugh beating Jim Harbaugh once again. Oh, that was fun. I can assure you that. And Ian, if I don't see you tomorrow, I'm wishing you a happy Thanksgiving.
And to you as well, sir.
Hey. And may everyone be blessed around. So that is all from Los Angeles. Ravens win thanks to 140 rushing yards from Derrick Henry, rushing touchdowns from Justice Hill and Lamar Jackson, receiving touchdowns from Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. That's going to be all from LA. I am Alec Nava, and alongside Ian Genge, we wish you good night. And to you, a happy Thanksgiving.